nothing that will allow us to film for longer. Hey. That looks good, doesn't it? That's right. Yeah? Boop. Beep, beep, boop. Boop. Beep, beep, boop, boop.
Beep.
I've got 2 beers. Let's get a bit
I brought the wrong camera. This one's used up.
Oh, get your 35mm
Depresso.
Sorry.
Just one gear on his fixie bike.
Do you remember that? Synth. We all play
I
synth.
love my life as a dickhead.
That's a real good impression. God, that was 2010. That's like 30. That's obviously it's 13 years ago. Fuck me, time is a motherfucker, isn't it?
I'm in the editor of an online magazine. It's all about my balls.
All about my balls. What was the religious iconography one?
I don't know.
She's into. Oh, I fucking can't remember.
I should have listened to it before we.
No,
started.
why would we? Why would we? Let me just make sure everything is set correct.
Crisps.
Gisp.
Beer.
Gisp.
Beer here.
Gisp.
You've bought some butter, Daniel.
What's my shopping?
You got some Anchor spreadable.
Let's get hungry.
Just
That's a lot of Anchor spreadable that
It's a
you've
big
bought.
pack.
Here,
Big pack.
on the way here, you've bought Anchor spreadable.
Yeah.
Do you want to put it in the fridge?
No, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I might have a bit in a bit. That's when to get a spoon earlier.
Saule is sporting our new bibs.
new bibs.
Garage Moon Power, Works, L'Origin, collab, cool as fuck.
Floor
I think they
mats.
said bath mats. Though.
Bath mat. We could use them as a bath
You
mat.
use them in the bath. Use them in the bath. But yeah, they are available not in our store, in their store,
In the Cura Works.
in the Works store.
Alex will add the link
I won't.
in the
I won't do it.
comments.
No.
They'll be in our story.
Just Google it, you fucking lazy people. Wow, we are peaking somewhat here, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I've
Maybe-
lost one of my. I've
maybe-
lost one of my thingies.
I peaked years ago.
I can only.
I feel like
hear
drifting
my right.
generally peak. This would be a great podcast topic.
No, I peaked when I was about 8.
Hey,
Peaking.
that's different. Let's just
when I
move
look my
this
best.
down. Okay, that seems fine. No, we're still peaking. I honestly. Hey, Saul, have you got a phone with podcast information?
Yes, I have, but-
So we can actually say definitively which podcast this is.
Definitive.
Oh, yeah,
Definitively.
Can you
we'll
define
find out
that?
what it is.
No, we're going to attempt to do so momentarily.
Oh.
We're on podcast number, I'm going to say 32.
Are you a federal officer of the law?
I just typed in sweeps. I don't know why. I'm trying to find the podcast.
Typed in
I
sweep.
don't know because that was the last podcast.
Just search for sweeps. You got crisps?
31 was sweeps, so we're on 32.
32.
Wow.
Cool. That's a lot of podcasts.
It is, isn't it?
How many hours is that? That's like... There's 2 4-hour podcasts.
It's at least 33 hours.
Well, it's at least 33 hours. Majority
which-
are an hour or an hour and a
I was
half.
going to say, let's not do ASMR of actually eating directly into the
The microphones.
microphones. I'm sorry, everyone who doesn't want to listen to me chewing away. What's that? That thing where people don't... people hate... it's called something... It's...
Oh, yeah, I hate it.
when you can hear people eating.
I'm surprised that wasn't
Begins
triggering
with
me just then, to be
M.
honest.
Begins with M, doesn't it?
I feel like it is. It's very often that
Please
siblings...
stop chewing with your mouth open.
I'm gonna
Please.
fucking kill you.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah. Well, we'll do this.
I've said this to other people before, though, like, humans doing it, I hate it so much. But my
Dogs.
dog,
A
will
cute
give her
dog?
give a dog or something, and she'll be like, and I'm like, oh, that's great, isn't it? It's lovely.
Like a slab of
Yeah.
bread with peanut butter on it.
Right, but we say that our cat, the littlest one,
Famous cat.
it does have a name. Yeah, famous cat. That one is coming into the bedroom at about 2-3 o'clock in the morning and licking itself so loudly. All the other cats can lick themselves pretty much silently. Like, no. I'm talking about like a. It's exactly like what's happened? Are you okay? And not every day, but like probably 4 out of 7 days, this motherfucker will pick 2-3 a.m. to come into the room and then just start slapping its lips together. I don't know how it works. If I catch it, it's like leg in the air, licking its leg or or whatever.
Leg.
And I'm just like, right, okay, well that's just excellent. Please fucking leave.
If you could, would you?
What?
Flick the cat.
No. Like,
Well, that's weird that you went there. went immediately to that. No, you mean lick you?
I'm just because
Dan
most
Pryor,
animals
Dan
do.
Pryor from Destroy or Die. The welcome to the Low Origin podcast.
Famously, Dan.
That was a better sound than I could have hoped for.
Famously, Dan. There is a video in my phone of you having a. I think it's a musket shoved
it's
up
a
his
shotgun,
arse.
wasn't it?
That was a shotgun or a
Single
musket,
barrel
single barrel
shotgun.
shotgun shoved up his arse, and then the next video after that is then Gabby, Alex's wife, on her wedding day, taking a full shot of I don't know what alcohol
gin.
out of
A
it,
few shots
But
in
it
there,
tasted
wasn't
like shit.
literally shit. And that is still like I'll come back and find it every now and again in my Snapchat like favorites or whatever it is. And
Favourites.
watch it. Like, it's like like
No,
little
I know.
snips.
Yeah, she won't watch the podcast, so that's fine.
Laughing to myself, nobody there.
I remember being in bed in the morning and waking up, and neither of us had like properly gotten undressed out of our wedding attire.
Things.
But the first thing, once we've like fully woken up, the first thing we see is everyone sending us the exact same Snapchat story.
yeah,
just of the ass to mouth.
Who was it? Was it? I'm trying to think who it was.
I want to say Greg. Was it Greg there? Greg Tubbs?
Greg did
Feels like a
stuff up
Tubbs
your
move,
ass,
that.
wasn't it?
That was a good wedding. I should do that again.
We should get married
Well, if
again.
it wasn't him, I guess probably Steve Saunders or
I was going to say Steve. I don't
Sean.
know. Yeah, I think probably Steve.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Bum guns.
Maybe. Anyway, welcome to the 30-second Low Origin podcast with Dan Pryor off of Destroy or Die. I know, you're right here.
Oh.
Dan Pryor, to people who don't know, is gentleman
they
that
know.
they know.
Carry on,
They know who
they
you
probably
are.
don't.
Dan Pryor has done metal things for some time. Metal stuff, sticking metal together, making it do stuff good. It's been a good fun thing for you to do. No, he special. I don't want to say specialise because I don't think you would say that you specifically specialise in. But
I think that's what it says on my Instagram on the business page.
does it specifically say specialises in MX5s?
Yeah. Well, not
Exactly. That's my
I
point.
kind of do, but that's only because I haven't got time to design stuff for other parts, really. For the cars.
Just don't have the time. Just
Well-
don't have the time.
Yeah.
Is it not more likely that the other vehicles that you could make lock kits for
So
quickly becoming
UK-based
wildly
company
expensive?
specialising in drift car suspension upgrades for MX-5, Miata, Nissan S chassis.
Yeah.
No RX-8 on there.
No, I'm saying
I should update that.
You should update that.
You should update
Yeah.
that. What about what about BMW people? They exist.
BMW
Yeah.
people,
Do some
exist.
BMW
Lexus
stuff and
Lexus people.
stuff.
You do some
Yeah.
Lexus stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that needs updating, to be
That
honest.
does
but-
need updating.
But it started because I had an MX-5, and at the time, not really many people made things for them. I made some cut knuckles, and then immediately found that my wheels started smashing into my lower arms. And at the time, I was working at my last job as a learning to weld and fabricate and stuff. So they sent me to college to do a apprenticeship.
Oh yeah.
It's
And
10
then
years this year.
City and guilds
Wow.
and stuff.
10-year birthday this year.
No, isn't it? Because officially it started in 2013. And,
Wow.
Happy, destroy and die.
and then I left my old job in 2017, I think, and went full time with it. But
I still find it hilarious every time you put up a serious post trying to find, useful people. Always send you a message, bro. If you match my wage, I'll come.
Yeah.
I'll be the best tea drinking lazy
We're looking-
bastard you've ever employed.
I feel like Dan's got loads of those available.
Well, yeah, there'll be 101. Not as fun as me though.
well, that's the thing. There's loads of people who've applied who probably would be great,
Yeah,
but they either live miles away.
Yeah.
So some of them, they're kind of joking, and then some of them they mean it, but they're like 3 hours away, and you're
Yeah.
like, you might do that for a month, but then you get used to it, and then
Yeah.
you start thinking, this is shit.
You should just say you can have the job, but you have to
Shit.
relocate by Monday.
By Monday, start Monday morning.
They turn up with a bag at your door, going,
Hello.
"Does it come with board? Oh, you could offer board. Just
Could
put
do.
them in the
board
in the
them.
shed.
Got a spare room in my house. But
There you go.
It's solved.
There you go.
Nah, I quite like not having anyone in it, to be honest.
That's true.
Yeah, fuck people.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Not
all at once, anyway. I am selective now. At one point, I wasn't.
Form an orderly queue.
You're practically fucking married, so quite selective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Anyway,
what was I saying?
Yeah, so you had an MX-5, and you realised there was a huge lack of because it's a tough one, isn't the MX-5? It's for growing up. For me, it seemed to be the hairdresser car that people took the piss out of, and then around about 2006, 7, 8, 9, it suddenly became no. Actually, these are fucking sick. They're well fast for what they are.
I think it's a bit
hate when
later.
people say that, and then it became, actually, you can have a load of fun in these. They're actually not cheap, but they're cheap enough to have some fun in. And actually, there's some things that you can do to them to do some cool stuff with. But there wasn't the S chassis pile of 30 years worth of science that had gone behind
There wasn't
making them
there
into
wasn't the
drift
same
cars.
support for the aftermarket
They,
parts
they,
and stuff.
they remind me, and don't get me wrong, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm big into MX-5s for drifting, but I did daily in MX-5 for about 2 years. That was very hard to not drift as a daily car.
That car
because
was
they're a lot of fun.
fantastic.
It was a lot of fun. It was the VCT Mark 2.5. It was the Sport with the 6 gears and the.
But getting parts
good
for it
diff
were
and
a
stuff.
nightmare
It was-
because
it
they
was-
were very
The
specific.
VCT?
Some people call it
SVT?
SVT. Yeah, it's the one that had variable valve timing.
140 brake on it or something like that.
Something
It's
like
fast.
that. I don't know.
because you wrote
It had
the one-
enough.
Yeah, they have the expensive cats on and the bigger brakes. And all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and like trying to get the brakes, so you'd go.
Oh,
I've
good
got,
God.
It was brakes. I think they were like, oh, I've got this is the
Distant
reg,
calipers.
and then you
Oh,
go and
yeah.
pick the brakes up,
It
and then you
doesn't
take them
matter.
back, and they did not fit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if
Go
you
back
have
and
a
say,
reg
"Oh, they're
or if
fucking
you
this."
physically hand them the thing that you're taking up. They don't fucking care. This is the problem. And then I think, especially when it came to drifting that car, they've got all right lock, but nowhere near enough to do this. Because the thing with an MX-5 is a bit like I was going to say a bit like an A6. I'm going to sound really ignorant right now, but they're not the fastest things in the world.
No.
So you have to drive the fuck out of them,
Very
which,
fast,
which I
yeah.
love. Like it's really quite refreshing to go get out of a full 500 brake horsepower S body that as soon as you put your foot down, you're going too fast.
Yeah.
To then getting in something that's about 130, 140 brake horsepower. Some of them are.
Well, 1.6s are like
Yeah.
115.
Well,
for
my-
the factory.
yeah.
exactly.
And then
But
the UKs and the autos were 90.
The Mark
that's
II,
it.
the Mark II
You-
1.6 I got was 90 brake horsepower.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but my point is, you could then drive that thing pinned, and it's a really good sensation of being able to drive a car pinned, that you just don't get from purpose-built things like S bodies, where you're like, right, I need loads and loads of power, loads and loads of grip, loads and loads, you can
I think-
destroy the thing.
I think that's probably what's put people off drifting for a long time is because
You had to go fucking fast.
yeah, but also I think a lot of people would try and get them for drifting because I mean it's even more the case now that S chassis were more too
Stupid.
expensive. But then when you start and it's still like when I
Yeah.
had my MX-5, like I still wanted an S13 then, and they were like 6-7 grand. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't never afford that. Probably not even that, like 4 or 5 grand.
You
really.
didn't pay that for your
No,
PS
no,
though, did you?
no, but it was not.
I hope not.
It wouldn't have been worth that.
Oh my
it was
God.
at the time. It was expensive for what it was at the time, really. But as another
But
story,
was it
we'll
was
get
it
to, we'll get to that
was it
later.
SRK? Well,
No,
I mean,
it was
C8.
C8.
C8 non-running.
Caged.
Yeah,
Cage made out of toilet roll. Anyway, we'll get on to that
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
The point is, the MX-5 became this thing that was
Well,
quickly becoming a driftable car, but was lacking things like a reliable diff and lock modifications.
Yeah. Well,
and as soon as you
to
try and
be
do
fair-
lock modifications with double wishbone, it becomes horribly complicated, and nobody wanted to touch that shit.
Well, the diff. Some of the diffs are good at them because the 1.6s have the viscous one, which is crap.
Yeah.
Some of them have a Fuji. I forgot the name of Fuji something, which is also Super Fuji or Fuji Super, which is also a bit crap, I think.
Yeah.
And then the Torsen were the ones that you wanted.
Yeah, Torsen 1
there's-
and 2.
Yeah, so I've got the Torsen Type 1 in
Yeah.
the Turbo Mark 1, which is the better one, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
I always thought the Torsen 2 was.
the
better
Torsen 2s are
one.
more common.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it depends what you want it for. So like a Torsen Type 1 I think is like better for drifting.
Okay.
Because I might get it wrong here because everyone expects me to be a real like MX-5 nerd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know about the suspension stuff.
I've
Yeah.
been
But then,
through
like,
the wiki
there's-
quickly.
There's other parts of it I'm like, I don't really know about that. Like that's
Yeah.
not really my area. And like I know enough. I probably know more than a lot of average MX-5 owners, but
Yeah.
yeah. There's always going to be that one nerd who's like, no, actually, it was this one.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah,
right,
they,
sorry.
they crawl out of the woodwork very quickly.
But anyway, yeah. So I've got the Torsen Type 1 in mind, and I had a Torsen Type 2 in it, and it definitely feels better for drifting than that. It seems to lock better. It could just be a better conditioned diff, but
Yeah.
It
from
depends-
what I
yeah.
remember, the Type 1 locks more in acceleration, and the Type 2 locks more in decel. I think.
Oh, really?
I think. Again, I might be wrong, but yeah.
I'll be honest. I've not. I didn't notice a difference. I think the MX-5 we had was supposed to have a Torsen 2 originally, and then when that exploded for some reason, probably because I'd spent 2 years solidly kicking his
it.
fucking head out.
Might have something to do with
It
it.
may have had something to do with it. And then I bought what I thought was a Torsen 2, fitted that, and it turned out it wasn't. It was probably a Torsen 1, but it felt different. It actually felt like a different ratio, which was
Could
quite
be, yeah, they
frustrating.
did do some different ratios. I'd imagine probably the autos had different ratios. as
Yeah,
well.
quite possibly. But either way, I wouldn't say I felt a huge difference.
I imagine the autos are quite rare in an MX-5 because it was kind of hailed as a driver's car from the get-go, and then to have an auto, I know that
Yeah.
the
Probably
is the
something they just did to-
NC would have been more common in an auto, I can imagine.
I've seen
I don't know if
NAs.
I've ever seen an auto NC actually saying that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have thought that would have been natural because of the RX-8 kind of similarities with it.
I presume it exists. It must exist, but I've actually never seen one come to. I've never thought about that before. But,
No, I just thought because it wouldn't have been you wouldn't go into a dealership and go, do you know what I really want? This light,
this-
small,
this-
nimble
Yeah.
sports car
Auto.
with an automatic.
With auto,
please.
please.
saying that, though, I remember Chung had one for obvious
Well, of
reasons.
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But he,
yeah.
yeah,
Lack
maybe-
of legs, of course.
yeah, that'll do it. So yeah, he did have one for a bit. I don't think he had it long, but I remember that he had an auto, and I remember thinking that's going to be
Rare as
shit.
well. Yeah.
to use. It's like,
Well, anyway.
because it's an old auto as well. Like
Yeah,
new autos
sludge
now,
box,
they change gear in like faster than you
Oh,
can blink.
yeah, Jesus Christ, the VW autos are like
Yeah.
then to this like yeah. Anyway, the point I was making is double wishbone suspension makes lock modifications very difficult in the Nissan and
Yeah.
Toyota world. If you had like an R body or a Z body, and you wanted to do lock modifications, the first thing you did was chuck all the suspension in the fucking bin
Yeah, do
and
S-body stuff.
and do S body stuff because it's just single
Spindle.
lower ball joint
Yeah.
with a knuckle and then a strut.
And then the strut turns with the knuckle, so you don't have to worry about.
Precisely that, and then the
Same as BMWs.
exactly, and then you've got the camber that's taken out at the top on the actual plate that goes in, and that's what Nissan people have done for probably 20, 30 years, if not longer potentially. But that's not an option with RX-8, RX-7, RX-7, RX-8,
I think
RX-7, and
RX-7's
maybe
similar, yeah.
and MX-5s as well. So that's really the only place you're going to come from. That is to find, what were RX-7 guys doing. That's probably the
I didn't look that up.
didn't let
Probably
should
with the
maybe
RX,
start there because the RX-7 was relatively regularly drifted. You'd see the Apexi, that white Apexi one. That was quite a famous RX-7
Oh,
that was
the
drifted.
Item B one.
I don't know.
Was it
Probably
FC. Though, wasn't it?
FD.
FC, yeah.
No, I'm thinking
Was
of
it
an
FD?
Oh, FD.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Wait, it weren't FC. FCs were single wishbone, were they?
So I'm trying to
Yeah.
work out what
Oh, were they?
generation.
I don't know.
I know the diffs and stuff are very similar because I
Yeah.
think Connor had a FC diff casing on his ND
Yeah.
because his broken. They're supposed to be stronger.
Well, this is it. And Adam was saying it's like the video we did where we asked Adam about his RX-7 and how it had MX-5 engines,
Yeah.
NA engines, and now it's
Yeah.
going for a turbo engine. Now it's going for a. It's like everyone's like, oh, what do you do to make it fit? It's like, fam, just throw the fucking box in everything,
put
just
it in.
fits. You fucking stop googling stuff and just fit. And I don't think it's as easy as that, but
It's for him.
It is
Yeah,
for
it
Adam
is for
because he'll
Adam,
just go
yeah.
right. We'll just cut that.
We'll
bit
just
out,
cut
we'll
this all
make
this
a-
out.
Make a quilted
Just
piece
start
of
the fuck
steel
again.
here. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, my point was it was it's not an easy place to start from. But given that was the car that you wanted to do that, you seemingly did.
Yeah.
I mean, at this moment in time, I've seen in the store you've got like drop knuckles and shit for NAs, MBs,
NCs and RX-8s
and
now, yeah.
RX-8s.
Yeah, because they're the same
Yeah.
suspension nully.
But then you're not dropping the knuckles Sorry, you're not doing a drop knuckle because for lock modifications, though, are you?
No.
Well,
Stands point.
Stands point. Well, yeah, but it's the same reason you had Geomasters and
Yeah, of course.
things like that.
You
It's
got an
to-
extra 50
it's
mil.
to try and put arms in nice places and things like that. But I guess it does also you can reduce the amount of throw that the rack has to do as well, I suppose, in that point. But that's the whole thing. It's a lot more complicated than just coming at this from, oh, well, there's 30 years of S-body people to just yoink.
Well, it's the opposite as well, isn't it? Because it's a MX-5 is a front rack and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
S13 is a rear rack, and there's certain bits that are transferable. Like
Yeah.
the logic behind it is, but it is quite different. But
Yeah.
Because I'm right. So obviously, you don't have a tension arm with a double wishbone suspension. It's
well, you
kind
can
of-
do.
Well,
I mean, because
it's-
like the
do you?
MX, well,
Is it done by boat? Like if you
Yeah,
put
it's done-
adjustable, you'd
yeah.
have to adjust the top and the bottom to change your.
well, yeah. I mean, if you looked at like a Mark 1 lower arm, it's not that dissimilar to like a S13 lower arm with a tension arm attached
to it permanently.
Yeah.
It's just permanently attached.
Yeah.
You could change stuff. You know, you could. I'm sure I've seen people do that with like an adjustable other linkage on the lower arm.
Yeah.
And to
And
do the
just
caster and
adjust it that
everything.
way.
Yeah, you can do
Yeah,
stuff
that
like
makes
that.
sense. Because I've known on the 350 when we were doing Harleys, it was just a case of putting washers in different places.
350 suspension scares the fuck out. I don't know how people do 350Z suspension shit. It looks like horrible.
It's better than the stock stuff. All the stock arms on the back are cast aluminium. You touch anything, explodes.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I think Harley hit a pothole in his and blew two of his arms out.
Oh wow!
Like they were obviously
When you say
probably
hit
they
a-
were probably
hit a
no.
pothole-
This was before the actual
before
crash.
the wheel
before ruining
incident.
my weds.
Oh Jesus!
He hit a pothole and I think it was one lower arm and one of the other. I think it was upper or one of the other fucking things, but completely snapped. They were probably damaged anyway.
Yeah.
But just from hitting a pothole.
How many arms are there at the back of them?
Oh, like a million.
Like a three.
Yeah.
Three or
No,
four.
more than three. Way more than three.
I can't remember.
There's like-
I should
There's
remember.
one here.
I did
There's
all
one
the
here.
arms.
There's one up here. There's one over here, and there's one under here.
I did all the arms on Harley's car. I still can't remember.
It's like with the NCs. Like I started doing some rear drop knuckles and arms and stuff for them, but there's so many different arms all doing their own thing at the same time.
Yeah.
If you adjust any of them, well, not any of them, but if if you do a combination of adjustments that's too far in a certain way, it can just bind.
Yeah.
And there's nothing actually touching itself, but it will just touching
won't
itself.
do
But it
anything.
will just like I was doing some messing around on the ramp with mine. I had no coil on it,
Yeah.
and I started jacking the knuckle up just to see, and the whole car started lifting. And there was no suspension on it. It was all just because it just stopped it all turning the way it's
It
supposed
just counted
to.
against
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
And it's like, no, okay, that's
So on the back of your NC, is it stock? Is it
no. There is a drop knuckle on there.
okay?
It's only like a first prototype, really. It's to sort of test the geometry before I
But
started.
arm wise, are you stock or?
How much? Yeah, I think so. I've got some adjustable like camber arms and stuff I
Yeah.
made as well. So yeah, I sort of might play around with them for a bit, but yeah, it's something else I need to come up with because like my stuff, I like to do it so you can fit like one part at a time.
Yeah.
Obviously, like wise fab and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's all
this is-
designed to go on together.
comes
Yeah,
on as one.
nobody's
Yeah.
buying like some wise
Yeah.
fab arms.
Yeah.
They have to buy the whole lot.
Yeah,
It's kit.
so
Which
it's a
kind of
kit.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's like it. That's why their stuff works. But I wanted to try and keep it like an entry level kind of thing.
Like
So
an
you
S body, you could buy just camber arms and leave
Yeah.
tension and
Yeah.
track all that shit. You
Whereas-
could leave that.
some because some people might be put off by having to fork out $1,000 rather than like 300-400 quid for
Hey, you
some
offer a
knuckles.
Klarna.
Yeah. But I mean,
Klarna available.
some people do, and we get a lot of people who like they'll email and say, "Can I buy just the knuckles?" And I'll say, "Well, you can, but what size wheels have you got?" And then they'll say, and I'll say, "Well,
Yeah.
you're better off just buying these now because you're going to pay shipping again once
Yeah,
you fit them and
further.
realise your
Yeah.
wheels hit."
Yeah.
But like some people might have different wheels, different specs, whatever. So
Yeah.
you can buy just one thing at a time.
That's another thing as well. Like with MX5s, with an S body. If you're doing drop knuckles, they're probably running 18s.
Yeah, it's
17s
kind of pretty
minimum.
standard.
Who the fuck cares? But with
Yeah.
an MX5, it's like, fam, right? You've just lowered your car into your wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, your wheels now don't fit, and you need to now work out what the fuck's going on. It's like it's something that we would never take into consideration because
Well,
there's loads of space there.
This is the thing, like, sometimes you get people kind of upset about, like, oh, I've fitted this and now this doesn't work. I'm like, well, I try and explain as much as I can about
Yeah,
everything.
you
but
can
at a
write as
certain
much
level,
as you possibly can
Yeah.
in the description. You can put as much information on YouTube and many videos of installations, and you can talk about as much of it as you possibly can. But eventually, you're going to get to the point where somebody's going to just see something and go, "Oh, that's sick! I want my car to look and drive like that." Click, done, and then you're going to have that as a.
Which is fantastic in the sales aspect of things, because all you've got to do is then do effective marketing. But then if no one's reading anything and they just constantly fucking email you going, why the fuck don't my shit fit?
I've always said this. I've always said that it's so fucking easy to buy shit today without having read a fucking thing.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. The thing is, when I'm guilty of it and I do it, I'll buy something and I'll realise that I haven't read the thing, and I'll go,
just hide it from wife. And that's
It's
the
not
biggest
that. It's
problem.
like as soon as I realise, I'll go back and I'll read the description of something. I'm like, all right, well, I'm a fucking
fucked up
idiot.
then.
But you get people like,
I'm going to angry my way out of this.
It could be people chancing it though. Could people? You didn't make it clear enough. Oh yeah.
But I mean, also there's a certain element. If you're going to be taking bits off your car and changing all this kind of stuff, you kind of need to be aware that you're either it's going to be a learning curve, or you need to make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, there's this is a thing. There's an assumed competence.
That's how I learned. Like, I when I was getting into drifting as well, and like fitting parts in my car, the amount of, and buying stuff that was like all my money for that month. Fit it, break it. Yeah, but then I'd be like, I shouldn't have done that. Never once did I go back to the business and go, hey, I broke this.
Well, when I worked at...
don't mention the name of them.
Okay, I didn't. When I worked at a car parts place that supplied modified car parts.
The Japanese ones.
The
speedy ones.
Fast ones. We had on the bottom of every single listing and every single one that must be installed by a reputable garage or accredited or whatever. I can't remember the exact word.
Professional. It'll say professionally installed. It'll just say
a garage.
Professionally installed, and not suitable for road use.
And it was kind of like us getting away with saying we've got shit parts and they're going to need some form of modification to fit, or you're going to need loads of parts to make it fit. They're going to.
The other thing is as well, you got to keep in mind you're fitting these parts like 30-year-old cars, and it's been through 10 different owners, and you don't know what's happened to it in that time.
What's hilarious though? When the bloke that rang up and saying that this X5 whatever didn't fucking fit, he owned a garage and it was fitted by someone in his garage, and he was like, no, because instantly the first thing to go, oh, you're fitting them yourself?
Yeah, but this
is
the other thing.
But I own a garage and your parts are shit.
The thing that gets me is like the suitable for off-road use. I remember an issue on MX5 nuts for some MX5 camber arms, not yours, from another manufacturer. And the guy had basically just wound them to the end.
Yeah.
And then the problem with that is, with double wishbone, there's a chassis leg that wants to sever the camber arm in half.
Yeah.
And you go over a sizable pothole and your suspension's set to grippy fastmans and your springs are all grippy fastmans, then your car is now going to cut that camper arm in half. And that happened, and I don't know. I guess his wheel would have collapsed in, or it wouldn't have come out.
Yeah, it would have gone in. Yeah,
it would have gone in.
Upper arm, yeah.
So he would have just gone to like super duper camber mode, and he's then gone on the internet and said, "This is outrageous. This is ridiculous." I'm like, and I'm reading this, and I'm thinking like, I don't think there would ever be a time in my life where I would have done that and then told anyone that I did that, because for me that's quite obviously
telling on yourself.
I told them myself. I played myself. I played myself, and then not only did I play myself, I then told everyone that I fucking played myself. Like there is that sort of, I won't say willing ignorance, but like there is a lot of people out there who are not reading.
And the thing is, like with me as well, if something that I've sent is wrong, or if there's a problem with something, just be nice to start off with. Don't come at me straight away with, this has happened. Blah, blah, blah.
Fuck you, Dan Pryor.
Yeah, like, sometimes...
You have destroyed and died.
But it's like, you're going to get so much further with someone if you like...
Yeah.
I realise this is probably not your fault directly or whatever, or even if it is, just...
Yeah.
What can we do about this? But yeah, sometimes you just get people whose first step is to just go full rage and full...
And it's hard to help those people, especially when there is a very easy fix for a problem that they've had.
And then, sometimes
frustrating.
Those people that have, if it's something they've fucked up, even if they're nice about it, I'm still going to be. It's still much more likely I'll go, yeah, okay, I can sell you another one like half price or
Yeah.
just to get you out of the shit. So
I'll help you.
But if it's your fault and then you come at me like it's mine, I'll just be like, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Yeah, get fucked. I have no interest.
This is terrible. Yeah, you have to sort of you can't just cunt people off because ultimately it's a business.
True.
But this is just reflections of the problems I've had.
I was
going to
say you're just
recently.
basically just
I know I'm making
Vietnam flashback in.
I know I'm in the process of making everything in the Lower Origin shop drop shipped. If you're buying things from the Lower Origin shop, thank you very much. But all of it is at some point in the next, hopefully six months, going to be drop shipped. So I'm looking for companies because I don't have the time to have conversations with people who've bought an RC livery yesterday and it hasn't arrived today on a Sunday.
But Amazon can deliver the same day, Alex.
And then are just being an absolute fucking knobhead.
I could drop ship.
Can you drop ship?
Yep.
All right. There you go. Solved.
But you're right, yeah, it is Amazon stuff like that. That's also
It kills you. It
Yeah.
just, and like I am physically on a Saturday morning, the only time I have free when I'm not doing child or work related things, to go to the post office to deliver things. And it says that in the description, and we post once a week, and I've got fucking time, and that's it. And we do it every week. So if you get people who get like today, like three
pee poo poo.
Hats available in the store. They're not. That'd be amazing though, wouldn't it?
Shout out, shithead Steve
on Instagram. But this is the thing: like you'll get like 3 people have ordered things today after I've been to post.
Yeah,
it'll now be a week.
Who also
be a week.
ordered on a Saturday night?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, you did,
I
didn't
did,
you? You
yeah.
fucking did. Yeah, but your shit's here.
Yeah, my shit's here.
It was 2 weeks though.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks, but I'm not. I'm realistic. I know when it's leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Things take longer when you're not a very large business. Are you drinking Listerine? Are that times that hard?
My mouth feels a bit claggy.
Total Care. Dan Pryor is available. If anyone's interested,
He
got
always
very
looks
fresh.
after his oral health.
Yeah, are you swallowing
Down
that?
in it.
Jesus Christ!
I'm just waiting for the spray. Ooh.
Do you want some?
I swear to God.
It looks like Vimto.
I swear to God.
It does look like Vimto.
It has to be. It has to be. I can't.
It's half a bottle.
It's better. I feel better now.
Feels a bit claggy. Fuck off, Dan
He
Pryor.
lives by that. He lives by that name, doesn't he? Destroy or die.
Destroy Dan.
my gut biome, or I'm gonna die.
Gut biome or die.
Right. Okay. MX5s. I like MX5s. For the one, me and Harley bought a Mark II 1.6.
What knuckles did it have?
It had Destroy or Die knuckles in it. It did actually have Destroy or Die knuckles in it and rack spacers. But that was after.
Did they destroy or die?
We did it. We did that after we did a Buxton day. So we bought it on the Friday, and then
You were making love by.
I picked it. I had the trailer for some reason. I think we just come back from a drift day. Oh, we had it from the weekend before. So I'd been somewhere with the 14. Man who I had the trailer off was away on holiday, so I couldn't drop the trailer off. So I had it on the drive, and then a MX5 came up for sale. 400 odd quid or something like that. Like nothing.
Oh, do you remember that?
And the guy was like,
Do you remember MX5s are 400 quid?
the guy was like, it's knocking when you turn a corner. So I was like,
Wait. The end. Oh,
just wait. It's knocking when you turn a corner. So there's obviously, I was like, there's something suspension related. I can sort that. We can buy cheap enough parts for him. Went to have a look at it. He went, yeah, I'm not too sure. It's like, low speeds when you go around tight corners, it skips. And I'm like,
oh my God.
right,
Oh
okay.
my
I was
God.
like, how long have you had it? And he was like, oh, like 3
Tell him
days.
to destroy and die.
3 days. So I get in it, starts up straight away. It's got 2 flat tyres. Pump them up just with a sig lighter. I can see them visibly going down. So I was like, right, I'm going to test drive this quick. No MOT, no tax, no nothing, no insurance. So I turn it out of his drive, and instantly I've got the roof down as well. And Harley stood there.
Limiter as well.
And as I turn, it skips.
Like a welder.
And
What
he goes,
an
that was
absolute
that was the
pleb.
skip. And I'm like, oh yeah, that don't feel too good.
Oh,
and
that
I'm like,
needs to go in a bin.
I was like, oh yeah, that don't feel very clever, does it? So I drive it off down the street, and I'm like,
fucking
I basically
penis.
just get to the corner around there, and I just go, ribbit, and I'm like, yeah, it's got a welder, 100%. It's got a welder. So I take it back and I go, mate, I'm not too sure. I was like, I think it's going to have to be about
It's a lot of money
300
for
quid.
scrap.
I was like, it's going to have to be about 300 quid. And he's like, oh, no, I paid a lot more for it. And I didn't know I had this problem. And I'm like, listen, mate.
Fucking prick.
It's cost me 50 quid to get it. It was Buxton. It's
I'll
not
do
cost
you
me
a
50
favour
quid.
and get rid of it.
I was like,
I'll do
listen,
you a favour.
listen. And I had
you
200 quid in this pocket and 300 quid in that pocket. I was like, listen, there's 300 quid there. And I gave him, and he took it, and we were like, mint. Straight on the trailer. It was orange
You're a monster.
with Borba A's on it. Gangster
What a
with a welded diff. So anyway, took it off this kid.
Found the roysters. Found the roysters.
Right at the bottom. We took it home, and we're looking over it. We're going to offload it at the unit, and I then just went, Buxton's tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just go fucking Buxton. So we picked it up from Buxton, took it back home, and then went straight back to Buxton the next day.
That is a 100-mile round trip for no good reason.
10 or 15 quid for, is it?
okay.
I don't know, whenever it was 10 or 15 pound for.
Yeah, it was when it was a tenner.
I picked up a set of
And then someone walks up and
Civic.
said, you got my old car.
Civic steel wheels from Alistair. With,
Yeah.
with just some shitty tyres on it. And did the whole day in the dry on that one set of tyres with the... That's gross. Oh, God. Really good. I think with like maybe 50 or 60 PSI in the tyres. Just
60 PSI. I say that, the van's got 60 PSI.
hilarious. Like... I've not laughed,
The van's supposed
like
to have
laugh screamed while drifting.
Yeah, that's what you get out of
It was
driving
like
a car
the
like that.
slowest thing in the world. And also, I mean, there was Adam
Hey,
there.
hang on, I was there
Yeah,
in the R32.
in the R32. And Adam in the Turbo X5.
Yeah, because he fucking crashed into me, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he said, who says this? I won't crash into you.
And then proceeded to crash into. Then he broke. What did I take his car home? Then he
Did
broke.
he
He broke
wink
the
at-
car.
No. This has had. Well, not this because there's a different shell. But don't tell anyone. I've
don't
had
mention it every time.
one bad
Yeah, I'm
accident
gonna
at Buxton.
Yeah,
where-
T-boned.
So I got T-boned. And it was this, and it broke the car off essentially.
Does the T stand for totally boned?
Big boned.
Totally boned.
Totally
boned.
boned.
The worst bit about it was
There's some big bones.
I got asked to judge with Joe Ankers.
Yeah, you fucking did.
And it was
exactly.
It was team drifting with like 6 or 7 people, and then there's the Drift One guys, which I think
Mate, it was awful.
John and a few others, and then there was Alex, Sam, and I can't remember who was. No, it was someone, Alex and Sam. And
Mate,
it's
there was 6 cars on track.
yeah, 6 cars on track. So it's
It was
tandem,
a 6-car train.
tandeming, but in a team. So 3 cars.
It was something that, to be fair, it was something that I've always wanted to watch the BDC. It's 2 teams of 3
Drifting.
battling all
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
It was
Complex.
going to end in a crash.
Yes, and it did.
I think instead of doing like a one more time, they should sprint a lap at the track.
So it went through, and there was
More
I can't
watchable.
remember. There was probably a clear winner, but we just went. We want to see that again. Yeah, we all want to see that again.
Yeah.
So one more time,
It was
let's
clo-
run
it
it
was
again.
close.
It was good. It was fucking amazing.
Just keep
Watch it
doing
again.
until your mates win.
One
One more.
Yeah, someone in the Drift One thing did a bit of a fuck up. Someone else reacted badly. The guy in front of you then just went, "This is
It was
fucking
John.
AIDS."
It was John from
Was it
Drift One.
John? Spun-
John didn't want to hit the car in front, which was an E30, which ironically at this moment in time is the most valuable of all the cars
Yeah.
in that. It was that span. The 3 few further cars. Sorry, there was 2 cars. They continued to drift off. The E30 span. John was like, "No, I'm not. This isn't how I'm dying today." I then did the same and went, "Nah, we're not dying today." No, we all hit each other, but like just
side on, like just like
Side on.
everyone span together.
Whereas
Sam just went, "Fuck right."
yeah, we went straight through the side
Straight
of
into
the
the car.
car. That's fine. That's fine.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Alex had an RB on his passenger seat.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, fuck. But anyway, the point is, so that's the only time I've ever had an incident. I've been in Buxton thousands of fucking times. So I go there in the R32 specifically with the intention of making it look, creating some photos so that I can sell it.
Yeah.
I wanted some photos.
You got some
to
good
say,
Polaroids
hey,
of that.
Yeah, I
to be
did. I've
fair,
still got
that's
them.
sick, yeah.
I wanted some photos of it so I could be like, oh, look at it. It fucking drives really well. And to be fair, it did. It drove really, really well. And then the dude in front of me span because the R32 didn't have any lock mods. It was completely stock. It wasn't designed to do drifting really. And then so I was just like, I'm out. And Adam had just gone, yeah, I'm in a Turbo MX-5 at Buxton, so I'm driving really fast. I'm driving really fast.
Into me.
Yeah, and that was the end of that. That was the end of the fucking. But anyway, you were there in the 400 quid MX-5.
300 quid MX-5.
300 quid MX-5. So
that was the best car ever.
Now,
it was so good.
Didn't you raffle that car off?
Yeah. So
which also resulted in body damage to my vehicle.
Did it?
Yeah, the cunt who fucking picked it up.
Oh, he did. He drove into the side of your
down the
van.
side of my van for some fucking unknown reason.
And they gave you money there on the spot, didn't he?
Yeah, because I went to Ed, I was like, how much would it cost to fix this? He's like, I don't know, 300 quid.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was really, really...
300 quid, mate.
Yeah.
I'll go cash machine now.
Yeah.
Could only get
really
250 quid out.
Yeah.
And I never got the damage fixed either. Because I was just, I couldn't be bothered. Well, it doesn't matter.
It peeled the side of the van over.
It did, it
was
peeled
really
the side of the van.
I once had this is before my MX-5, before my second MX-5. Anyway, E39 5 Series V8 one.
Is this the one that went to Dan Joyce eventually?
No, that was a diesel one. But no, I did Anglesey in that. The first car I did 4th gear in.
Damn, girl.
But no,
was that one of those 6-speed ones though?
No. It was the worst V8 5 Series you could get. It was
a
the
5-speed?
It was the 5-speed.
Oh, so if you're in 4th, you're going actually fast.
Yeah.
Real speed.
Yeah, it was the 5-speed Vanos, because they want the non-Vanos ones.
What does Vanos mean?
It's like variable valve time, you know.
Oh, right, okay.
But apparently, I think I don't know whether it's just the V8 ones, but I think they always had issues with it.
Okay.
It was the electric throttle, which always had errors, which mine never did, and it was the 3.5 and not the 4 or the 4.4. It was like the worst of all the options you could have. And I bought it
slow and slow.
No, but I bought it for I think about 2,300 quid. I bought it for.
Damn, girl.
And then I put a 3.64 ratio diff on it, and it topped at 120. But
I bet it got there fast.
Yeah, it was sick. It was great. It sounded awesome. But the guy who had it before me, he tried to make it look like it was like an Alpina rep, and
Jesus
it had twin tips or twin tips, so like two either side. But the tips were about that long, so if you approached the car from the side, you could see this little tiny pipe going into like these two. So I got rid of them, put a single shotgun exit on the one, and then it had was Alpina badges and stuff. So I just took all that off, and it was just terrible. But anyway,
did it have Alpina wheels, the multi-spoke wheels? Do you know the fascinating thing about those? They have the valve stem in the centre.
No, it didn't have them then.
Did it?
No,
Does
it didn't. It had Alpina badges on stuff though.
Genuine Alpina wheels.
Take the cover
with
off.
the Spokey boys.
Yeah, take the cover off.
Cover off, and in the cover
seen
with your
that.
bolts is your fucking valve stem.
Weird.
Don't fucking understand.
I mean,
I thought replacing
cool,
the
to be fair,
replacing the valves in those work wheels is annoying.
Oh God,
enough,
yeah. Can you imagine having like a sticky valve or like a fucked valve? Like, oh, I guess I'll
Buy a
throw
new
the
wheel.
wheel in the bin.
all I can think of. So is it the same kind of thing as is it a Schrader valve? What's in them? You know, like where you rubber pull it through. Do you have to pull it all the way down one of the spokes?
Were the spokes hollow?
Exactly.
Right,
that. I think the spokes are hollow.
And you
if they haven't
pressurise the
cracked.
spokes.
I think one of them is used as a thingy.
So diagnosing that as a
Oh fuck me, yeah. Can you?
Yeah,
can
one of
you
my
imagine
tyres
that?
is fucked. No, mate, your
mate.
rim is cracked.
No. Throw all 4 wheels in the bin.
In the bin.
But anyway, go on. You had this vehicle.
Yeah, I had this vehicle, and I did all sorts of things with it. But one of the things I did was, so I paid 2,300 quid for it. Did a couple of mods, put some coilovers and a diff on it. That's actually pretty much it, and a bucket seat.
A diff, as in like a sick diff or like a welded diff or like
a welded short ratio
Yeah.
boy, and did Anglesey and a couple of other drift days in it.
Yeah.
It was a genuine sport one as well, which I didn't realise that was like quite sought after.
Genuine sport.
There was used to have these drift days at Shropshire on an airfield. I'd line it with tyres, and I belted a tyre and snapped the front bumper in half and all that kind of stuff. I was like,
Damn.
Later on, realised apparently they're worth a fair bit. But
Was it like a genuine Alpina?
no, it was just a sport.
Dan Pryor ruined a real Alpine.
But
Alpina Pina.
But I got rear-ended it around about my way to work.
That's what she said.
And the bloke, he smashed into me because he thought I'd gone, and I
Was your car a
Yeah,
wreck though?
No, there was barely any marks in the back. And anyway, I pulled over, exchanged details and stuff, and then he went off to work, and I texted him later. I was like, "Look, do you want me to just see if I can repair it myself and just not bother with the insurance and stuff?" And he was like, "I've had to go through insurance because it's a company car, and unfortunately, the car that shunted me into you, they went off." And I said, "Oh, that's funny because I've got a picture of the back of your car as well,
Yeah,
and
there's
it's
nothing
absolutely
wrong,
spotless. And he said, "Oh yeah, well I slipped off the clutch and all this," and I was like, "Right, yeah, you were totally
Jesus
going to try it away."
Christ.
Yeah. Anyway, so I paid 2,300 for it. I got 1,800 quid back, and then I sold it for $3,000.
Damn.
And
Money.
and
Who says there's no money in drift cars?
Yeah.
yeah,
There is now, Jesus.
but then I got a SR gearbox in that trade as well.
Of course you did.
Because the guy who had it was like, "I've got a spare one, and I'll see you in the ad you're after an S body," and so I was like, "Cool, yeah,
You just happened to get an SR gearbox, a working SR
yeah,
gearbox.
yeah."
You jammy bastard.
Yeah,
What
but-
year was this? 1989?
It's still new.
Yeah, it probably would have been 2014, something like that.
Oh, they were 20 quid gearboxes back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're about like 50, 60 quid or something at the time. I think.
Yeah, now they're 50, 60 grand.
Yeah, but
400 quid, literally just
yeah,
sold one.
yeah. But yeah, so I
That exact one. Imagine.
well, no, because I was doing one of the Rocky days in the Nissan when it was still CA'd and it had the CA box on it. And it kept making this really weird noise every now and then. It just make like a kind of noise, and I was thinking, what the hell is that noise?
Wait, like when you lift off, not like...
They're just at random times. Anyway, so got home and then had a look underneath and everything. There's like a tiny little pinhole in the bottom of the gearbox.
What? In the metal of the
In
gearbox?
in just the casing of the gearbox. I can't remember
Was
if
it
this is
what?
when I discovered what the cause was, or if I was doing something else another time and found it. I think I drained the oil and there was just a random M6 bolt just in the gearbox, and it wasn't like one of the gearbox bolts. It was like
Yeah.
one you'd buy from
Did it
a
go
hardware
in?
shop. I reckon Max had just put one in to be funny.
So this
No,
M6 bolt.
No, wait, M6. It's a shifter bolt. He's dropped one.
Probably, yeah.
He's 100% dropped one, and then
And
he's gone.
replaced it.
Oh, I'll just get another one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That would have. I'm sure that would have gone out.
Probably, yeah.
Out the
Gone
bottom.
out of where?
Out the bottom.
Out of the
Bottom of the box.
bottom.
Because I later used this gearbox to. It was still working at the time, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably could have just blocked the hole.
Every
up and
now
carried
and
on
again,
using
it just got picked up.
Yeah, and spun.
And
well,
spun round
this is the thing, because then a couple of years later, after I'd SR'd it, I can't remember why I was swapping a bell housing to use it on the SR or something. And I looked inside, and you could see imprints on the inside of the case, and it was like threads where it had just been smashed into the side of the casing.
So it had a bad time.
Yeah, but the gears all looked fine.
Yeah, but I mean, gears are going to be stronger than a
but can you
bolt,
imagine
aren't they?
Can you imagine what that would feel like, having an M6 bolt just nipping between like second and third, and just be like, and the casing would just go, boff,
Yeah.
like stretch. It would be like a bomb going off
Yeah.
inside the box. And
Yeah, well,
and
that
the
could have been
casing-
catastrophic if it
the
got picked
casing-
up by a gear instead
Yeah,
of pushed around.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
so
be horrible.
But yeah, it was just really strange. And
hilarious.
then I ended up just chucking the box in the scrap because I was like, it worked, but I don't know if it's about to suddenly stop working.
Explode.
In hindsight, if you'd have sent it to like Tameside, well, not for you, but for us, Tameside Transmission, got it reconditioned, be worth about £1,000 now.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've got a 6-speed for my NC that I'm getting reconditioned. That's going to be around about 350 quid or something, which is about what they go for used. And I just thought, well,
Well, yeah,
it's a known good one then
yeah, that's
for the same price as buying.
What do you? So out of your, you got two. You got Mark 1 and you got an NC.
I've got two NCs.
You got two NCs. One is one a parts car. One a.
No, I want. So I bought the 2-litre Sport.
Mhm.
That came out really cheap, and I bought that, and I was gonna do stuff with that.
Yeah.
And then, but it was really clean, and everything. I thought I'd drive around for a bit and just use it. And then I had Jim down from in Cornwall, and he had one for sale, a 1.8 for 500 quid, and it was bottom end was gone, and
Yeah.
it was
Perfect for
quite
the
rusty.
2.5 swap. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, at the time, I was thinking I wasn't planning on doing the swap. I was thinking, well, I'd rather take that car apart to
Yeah.
like
Barricart.
well, not to
Fuck
fix, just
about
to well, it was when I was making the angle kit.
Ah, right. So this is going to be your test bed. Your like.
So I was like, I'm not taking apart a nice, clean working car.
Yeah.
I can carry on using that one. I can
you can
develop parts of this one, and
Yeah.
then the plan was to swap them all over. But I had them all fitted and everything, and I thought could just chuck an engine in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a 2.5 and put that in, and
A 2.5.
easiest
now that's,
engine swap ever.
I was going to say, is that
no, sorry, forward engine. Isn't
it's a
it?
Focus engine then, basically.
Yeah, something like that.
Is it
Well,
a
mine's out of a
5-cylinder
Ford Fusion. No, it's a 4-cylinder inline 4.
Okay.
But there are different Duratec's. Like I think they're Duratec V6.
See, this is the
I've-
thing. It becomes like you become a Ford guy as soon as you
Yeah.
start fucking with NCs. It's like, Oh yeah. You're now a Ford guy.
But
You're trying to figure
I
out engine
watched the
stuff.
video, the coloured in light guy.
Yeah,
He goes
yeah.
in detail about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
2.5. It's simple.
Oh, it's dead easy.
Like I legit think if I had all the bits, I could do it in maybe 2 nights.
Really?
took 2 hours.
It's so simple. Like I mean, me 2 nights, you 2 hours maybe. But
If the
like,
engine was out,
if it was,
it's dead easy to get out as well because you
reckon-
leave the loom on the
yeah.
engine. You just unplug it and
it's
then take the
simple.
whole lot out.
It's
Oh,
so
nice.
good.
Yeah.
When I saw you had done it, and then you told me about the coloured in light guy. I watched the series, and I was like, oh my god, this is like a piece of piss.
Make them
literally
fast,
just do it like
Make 'em
this.
Make 'em big
Well,
fast.
if it's that's the thing. If it's 2 litre to 2.5, it's even easier.
Oh,
if it's a
really?
1.8, I had to get the clocks and I had to get a 2 litre ECU and everything because that runs the VVTi and stuff. And then
Oh
you
right,
need-
so it's actually easier if you do start with a 2 litre.
yeah,
Amazing.
because it's the 1.8 doesn't have the VVTi,
Right.
so it will run it,
Yeah.
but it won't do VVTi stuff. And it was like 150 quid. I bought
Yeah.
ECU, clocks, lock set, everything, and like keys and all
Just
of it to
changed
go
it
with. And I
all
thought, chuck it all in.
I really feel like NCs are slept on.
I've
massively.
They
considered
really are,
I've
yeah.
considered getting one because I really like the way they look. I think
Yeah.
yours looks
and
fantastic.
you've made yours look ace. Like I mean, I was gobbling your cock, but like it really does. Like
But with
you don't
minimal
see,
kind of
yeah,
work,
well,
it's not-
I feel like you've had to work a lot of fucking shit out because there just isn't this. It's same with what you were doing with trying to figure out how to make MX5s drift good. You've had to sort of do the work yourself and figure out how to make them look good, work good, and drive well.
Yeah.
And you just don't fucking see them. You still, if there's someone who's like, oh, I'm thinking of getting into drifting, I've got like
I'd say get an NC.
$3,000, I'm gonna go and buy an E30, E46, E36, whatever. It's me bag of shit. You're gonna regret it afterwards. Someone's gonna turn around to you and say, if you'd have just left that alone and done nothing with it, it'd be worth $5,000.
All people go, I want an NA, and NA's now a
Yeah, yeah.
fortune.
Ah,
They're
Jesus,
absolute
yeah.
fortune.
They're
Like
getting
S-bodies.
Clean NAs now.
Like shit. But I think an NC is newer.
Yeah.
Has got more of the moderner bits on it.
Tell us about Rust on an NC, because
Yeah.
I made some assumptions that because I'd said to you like, that's a really good idea because it'd be clean chassis to work
Yeah, I
on,
don't think they are.
nice, easy things. 'Cause, like the biggest dick of working on an MX5 for me was just like they seem to have all been parked in the fucking sea for thousands of years.
But they're still
they rust like
the
motherfuckers.
latest ones are still a 10-year-old car now, aren't they? Did they make them until
Yeah.
12 or
Really? They're not-
13?
they're not, are
yeah,
they?
they stopped
Get
making
the
them in
fuck out.
13, I think, didn't they?
I think so. I don't know.
13, I think. I'm sure it's the last
way.
NC.
I
was
actually, I
13.
really liked the NDs when they came out, and now I've gone off them.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea.
They don't seem to have sold as well as I
You don't
kind of
see them,
assumed.
do you?
don't see
Yeah.
them as
Do
often.
you know the
And
only ones I
hard-
see? The hardtop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I was going
With
to
the
say
Ds,
the
that's
hard
it.
top
The
seems to
fastback
be.
thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I hate fastbacks. It just looks.
That was the most expensive version they made. It was 30,000.
But that's the only one I ever see. Like, I don't
Yeah.
see any others. I don't see a full convertible. I only ever
I
see
do.
the...
I think
Is
because
it
they
a
did the
T? It's a
Fiat
T-top,
124
innit?
Spider, which is the same car
Yeah.
underneath, wasn't it? And
I think that's a good looking
they're
car.
better.
I
I
think
think
that's a
they're
good
better
looking
engine.
car.
I think they've got a bit more power as well.
Gaz was going to get one, wasn't she?
She was. I actually quite. I know this is going to be a terrible thing to say, but kind of I prefer the Fiat 126.
Yeah, 124.
I think it's a 124. I think so.
124. Spider.
Oh yeah, the 126 was that little
The 126
hatchback thing
is,
with
yeah.
an engine in the back.
Polish one, yeah. Do you know what my first car, what I wanted it to be? Was a 126.
My
And then I
mum-
realised how expensive they were, and I was like, nope.
My mum had a near fatal car crash in her sister's 126 on Gilbent in Cheadle. Anyway,
There is a picture of me and my dad in Poland, because I used to go Poland. So I'm mocking up sitting in a 126, and my dad put like his knees like that, so I'm sat in it, and even like at seat level, both of our heads are like out of the
out
roof.
of the fucking roof. They weren't the biggest thing. But anyway, the 124.
124 is the
based on the
Spider.
It was based on the MX5 that had big lights at the back, big lights at the front.
Yeah.
And it also came with the Abarth 500, no, Abarth 625 engine.
695.
I don't know.
695 is the fast
I
Fiat
really,
500,
as soon as
which
I
stripped out
start
interior.
thinking about Fiat, I immediately just go.
So
"Oh,
Harley's got the
just-
595, but the 180, so like the highest engine power of
Yeah.
the one with seats in it. So then you can get the 695,
Oh, they
which
have no
is
seats.
You have to stand
which is
up
like a
with
strip. It's like a stripped out. No, it's just a
stand
back.
at the wheel. You kneel at the wheel. Like
Do you ever play those crazy taxi arcade
Yeah.
games? It didn't have any seats.
didn't have any fucking seats.
But no, it's like I think it's
So
like
what are they? The 180 brake.
180 brake.
So that'd be lovely in an MX5.
Harley's car is the best car that I would never own. So like if I borrow Harley's car,
Fuck that car.
it's like
Fuck
so
it so
fast,
hard.
so funny, good giggle car. Really, like you can give it some, and it's responsive and receptive to fast driving. Would I buy one? Don't think so.
It feels like, you know those tins that a chicken comes in?
If you shut a door, it feels like you've just thrown a crisp packet in a bin. It's very Italian. But made
Very
of
Italian.
shit.
I don't know why they insist on making things.
Like you shut the door on my car, your car, it's like very German, very clunk.
Oh yeah,
Well,
on
the
the
clunk
Golf.
click.
Not,
yeah,
not on
no, not this. No,
on
on
mine
the
it's like,
Golf.
bang!
Mine,
Nope,
it's
that's
like,
not the
it's-
correct
but, like,
orientation for the Lamborghini door.
It's like on the 500 or whatever it is, Fiat. It's like shutting the door on one of these. Like, is it fucking shut? Like,
Yeah,
I
that's the
don't
first thing
know.
I said to him. I was like, because the last time I saw it was where the 350's parked. Hey, is the 350 still there?
I think so.
That's not gone.
I don't think so.
The shell is still available.
I think so.
Hey, does anyone want a 350Z shell?
I think
It's
he
so
put it
good.
up. He put it up
So
recently,
good.
and I think he had like 4 or 5 people interested.
It's great. It's the best thing ever. Has he sold the bonnet?
Yeah,
Really?
bonnet's gone. Boot's still there. Oh, Dan.
Jesus Christ, man.
Cheese and rice. It's not even real.
It's not going to be butter. It
No,
won't
it's
be
not.
butter.
It's marge,
Please
innit?
don't let it be butter. Oh, you fucked up, man.
Oh, this is fucking gross. I can't even look at him. Dan Pryor eating butter. Destroy all cholesterol.
Destroy all cholesterol.
Cholesterol or die.
Pryor's on statins, you can fucking tell, can't you?
Yeah. I have no idea what I was saying. Oh, Harley's 350. Yeah, I think he listed it up for sale, but a few people messaged him, and I think they either just never turned up or were like asking him to deliver it and shit like that. And that's when we were asking about getting it on, but it's like trying to get it out of where it is just going to be a logistical nightmare. So yeah, Harley wanted to get back into drifting, I think, at one point, but it's just shit's too expensive now, isn't it? Really, if you go in from
The problem is, he did exactly what most people do, and he realised that this thing that was sat on his driveway was actually the deposit to the house
To the
he was
house.
desperately trying to buy.
Yeah.
And so he did.
Yeah.
And he fucked it off. And instead he got a house.
What would have been hilarious is like he would have earned like $5,000 less if he just sold it rather than breaking it. And because we convinced him to break it, he got so much more money for it.
Yeah, wow.
So much more
What
money.
did he make in the end off that?
15.5 or something like that.
Jesus
Like someone could have come
Christ.
to him with like a legit 9 or 8 grand
Yeah.
offer, and I think he would have took it.
Yeah.
Which it probably was realistically as a
The thing is-
project was probably worth about that.
There was an
Because there was a lot. There was like $2.5 worth of fab work that had gone into it, like 3 weeks prior to him breaking it.
yeah. The thing is, the thing
Concentrate.
is, I'm really trying. The thing is, he found a guy, didn't he? Who wanted a drop-in SR project
so
for
he
a
got
350.
a guy that wanted that exactly that. So, oh my god, there's a lot of it gone as well. Fuck it, you know that story you told me before about your dog up on the counter licking the butter off? Was he sure it wasn't just you licking the butter off your own plate? Fuck. God, I would like an NC. I think like me and
I
Abby
would. What sort of price what sort of price are we looking at for NCs?
Well, they
these days?
range, don't they? Because you can get them for like 500 quid that are fucked, and then you can get them all the way up for like BBR turbos, which are thousands, like 10 grand. So much stupid like I'm not saying.
Yum.
Butter
First
boy.
and foremost.
Ah.
Yeah, they're great. Like,
I've got a solution.
No, sunglasses, so you can't see them.
Like this, so I can't see anything.
Yeah.
I've got a friend of mine bought a later NC, the 3.75, I guess they call it, with the facelift and all
I
that
can't
kind of
tell
stuff.
you. I don't know.
And yeah, he bought that for about $8,000.
Shit.
I paid 1,900 for my 2-litre Sport,
Yeah.
which was they're about like 3 or 4 grand that they were, but it was up cheap when I saw it anyway.
Yeah.
And it was really low miles, it was like 70,000 miles or something. And went to look at it, and it was this girl who'd bought it off her brother to do like a road trip with her mates around Europe or something, and she'd done that
With her one mate.
No, with some
Oh,
of,
there
with
are
some of
other
them.
cars.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. And she'd done that
That's
trip.
very intimate, isn't it? Yeah. Come on, let's go.
Me and the.
They'd done the trip, and then she just never used it since,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it'd been parked up under a tree.
And we're not in the best country for owning convertibles.
In the
really, are
fucking
we?
sea, I presume.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, it'd be parked up under a tree, so they basically have the same issue as the Mark 1s, where the roof drains get clogged.
up.
They fill it with
Yeah,
water.
yeah,
But in the Mark 1s, it goes into the sills. In the Mark 3s, it goes into like into the floor.
Floor pans.
Yeah, the floor pans. So she was like, "Yeah, I do drive every now and then, and just to keep it, drip." And then so went to go for a test drive. The battery's completely flat, tires are flat, seats were soaking wet, and I was like, "You don't use it at all."
Use it, at all.
No, this is a scrap car that you've forgotten about.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And then so it was up cheap already, but went for a test drive, and then
It's wiggling like jelly.
yeah.
Wiggle it. If you come with faux food, like Ribena,
Oh, he fucking has. He fucking has.
Jelly.
Just to fuck with us.
What is this?
It's custard.
It's custard.
Yeah.
Is it actually custard?
Yeah.
I couldn't look long enough to deal
I
with
just
it.
looked at it. I'm staring at it, and I'm like, it's not fucking thingy.
You fucking alien. You just sat here to fuck with us.
As he's sat there
tell
talking,
us
I'm
what-
staring at it, going, "That ain't fucking butter, fam."
I can't believe it's not that.
But it's got the fucking seal in it and everything.
I can't believe it's not.
Gross. I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah. Drifting podcast.
Good day.
So the NC that you
Also brought
bought
some
was
other
fucked.
things.
Shovel, rope.
Some rape tape
Yeah.
and some gloves. You were hoping to get pulled over. Hey, you might. You never know. You drive out of Cheshire East.
Your
over
dog
here.
was humping him before.
South,
Your
Cheshire West
spoon-
over
Your
here.
spoon, by the way.
You can keep that. Oh, that's fucked.
Okay, I could do with a piss as well.
Really?
Yeah, I drank a whole bottle.
Are
of
you?
Listerine.
Are you? Okay?
That was Vimto.
I was gonna. It looked like fucking Vimto.
Not necessarily not getting a photographer. It was more like it's really hard because a photographer that like we would need would have to be like fucking sick. Is that still recording? 1 hour 14. Yeah. And we're back from Pisscast. Pee pee poo poo cast. We've got more things. We got coffees. I made coffee. Hey,
Press the button.
press the fucking button, and then it created some coffee. Where are we up to?
Alex has got child juice.
I've got them. My daughter's
Sippy cup.
Sippy cup from nursery.
Are you drinking Listerine as well? I hate everything about that.
It tastes like nursery.
5 minutes.
Not preschool.
Just when I was staring at the fucking tub, and I was like, "That's not butter. It's wiggling way too much."
I couldn't look. As soon as I can't believe I can't believe it wasn't butter.
I just looked at him and just like, "What bastard?" He's eating butter.
I'm so pleased with how well that went down. That was
That's
great.
the fuck with us, man.
Alex
Ew.
was full
Okay.
gagging, not even looking at you, just staring
The thing
me
is-
in the face.
I'm still gagging now, thinking about the thing that you
Butter.
didn't do. It was that rancid.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
And the Listerine, I knew it looked like fucking Vimto. It was just the right colour for Vimto.
To be fair,
Fuck.
it was really pretty much the same colour as the Listerine then.
Yeah. Not far off, yeah.
Because when I don't remember how I had the idea to do that, but I thought about it. I was like, it might not be quite the right colour. I poured it in. I was like,
I seen it. I
That's
was like,
bang on.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is
Well,
this?
he went as far as buying himself a new Listerine so he could have the sealed top on it as well. Decanted it into his old one. And it smelt like
yeah,
Listerine.
it's still a bit
Oh,
minty.
you should have opened the. You see,
I was trying to rip the thing open, but it wasn't coming out. It was picking at it for too long.
looking back now,
I was panicking. I thought, I just need to drink it. They're going to cotton on it in a minute.
No, we just didn't want to look at you at all.
Yeah, I couldn't. As soon as I was like, the Listerine thing. I've seen. There was a guy at work. I'm talking about when I worked at Quick Save nearly 22 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
You old bitch.
That'll make me gag.
Dan's videographer wasn't even born.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. No, he would drink not specifically Listerine, but he would drink mouthwash. Like just.
It's the ones with alcohol.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 20
used
odd years ago,
used to drink
probably pretty fucking good. But like, yeah, he would regularly. So I was thinking, maybe Dan Pryor is just one of these people who does the drinking of the. He's really into drinking.
Yeah, he used to be like really desperate alcoholics.
What's lean?
Jesus
Lean's
Christ.
not mouthwash,
Lean
is it?
isn't it? That
Cough
medicine and
yeah,
Sprite.
cough medicine.
I think there's
Sorry.
Sprite in it.
Yeah, I'm getting confused. I thought it was.
Of course it fucking is.
It's like
yeah.
English lean, just Listerine.
English lean, Listerine.
That's what lean is shortened from. It's Listerine.
Listerine.
Lean. You are missing out on a
syllable.
trick there, fans.
We could kill so many rappers.
Could have great smelling breath.
Damn.
Detectives come to the scene.
Yep, another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Anyway, where are we up to? NCs.
Yeah, NCs.
Seemingly quite. So not massively, not that cheap, really, comparatively.
Well,
sort of S-body.
there's a big scale. We were
No,
just
well,
looking.
yeah. So yeah, I think I was saying yeah. So the 2 litre Sport that I bought, they're in summer.
2 litre Sport. We're talking 2 litre naturally aspirated.
Yes, 2 litre natural aspirated. 160 horsepower.
All right.
All right. And then people say, "Oh, well, they're heavy." And you're like, they're as heavy as an S body. No, not even that. Probably a bit lighter.
Yeah.
Then
Really?
they're only a few hundred kilos, like 100 kilos lighter than a Mark
So
1
like
or 2.
a stripped out.
Or heavier than a. So the 100 kilos heavier.
They're heavy, but they got like 40 more horsepower than like a Mark 1. So,
Okay. Yeah. So
So they probably balance out. They're probably
you're in the same
equal.
sort of.
and they're faster, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't actually checked against like a
Isn't
stock
that-
car, but they feel quicker.
Isn't this the car that Hammond sat in and was like, oh, they've shaved 4 grams off the back of the fucking the rear view mirror, and they've.
Was that not the ND?
Was it the ND?
I think the ND, yeah. I know the ND was smaller, and I remember the marketing was that they're trying to make it more like the
They're
original.
going back
The
to
original,
the
yeah.
because I think
Which they've
people
probably-
looked at
yeah.
the NC and said, oh, it's got a bit fat and a bit porky
Yeah.
because it is a bigger car.
It is bigger, but it's better like that because
Yeah.
I mean, like I said,
You
I
get
had to
17s
chop
on
a
it.
hole in the floor of my Mark 1 to sit in it like a
Yeah.
normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can sit in the NC, and it's just like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's normal.
It's very. I had a RX-8 when I worked at Chips Away, and the interior
Jesus
feels
Christ, did
very
you? Wow,
much
it was
the
terrible.
same. Like the high centre console.
Yeah, yeah.
You kind of sit really
it does.
hunkered
Yeah,
into
you
it.
still
It's
feel
nice.
like you're in an
Yeah.
MX-5.
Yeah.
Very much so. But it just feels more modern.
Yeah.
Less like bendy. The chassis feels stiffer.
Yeah.
And everything just works better. It's
I think
just-
that's the one thing about NAs that I never could get on board with is how floppy they felt. I think it may have been the NAs that I drove, but I remember Gabby's N. Well, it's
B.
2.5.
Yeah.
It's 2.5.
It's
Still an
NB,
NB.
yeah.
Yeah, it's that
Yeah.
shape, isn't it?
That felt significantly stiffer.
Well, all those chassis braces were
think they
like
put-
Yeah,
big
that we
time. There
removed.
was so many of them, but then when we lowered it, took them all
Lowered
off 'cause
it.
it
Yeah.
hit the floor.
that was the thing. It was so lazy of them, though. When you think about it, they basically gone. Everyone's complained at the end. What was that? NA.
Someone just drove into your MX-5 outside.
Quite possibly. Everyone complained that the NA was quite a floppy chassis to drive. My RX-7 FC convertible was really floppy. The windscreen would
Yeah.
like waggle around.
That was the
when
thing
you
in
went
mine.
over
When I had the cage in it,
potholes.
and you're driving along, and you could see the frame. The
The
Oh,
car
yeah.
moving around the cage.
yeah, and like
Fuck that.
I had a new cage done. Tom Van Beek made one, and it was really tightly tucked to the pillar on the windscreen. And every now and then you drive and you fucking knock off it. So I just
Christ.
stitch welded it in
Yeah.
the corners to the pillar, and it's way better now. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
This is the thing. It probably
Gussets.
feels a lot better as well, like in ways you probably don't even realise. But so they improve things year in year out. But yeah, the NNB. Literally, all they did though was just slap a bunch of what the fuck is that cat doing? Slap a bunch of braces, which are just
Yeah.
bars, flat. Like literally, they take metal bars, flatten either end, drill a fucking hole through it, find a hole on the chassis, stick a captive nut in, and then there you go. We've created braces.
Yeah.
And of course, as soon as you lower it, you hit all of those.
Yeah.
Was the MB basically just a refaced NA? Because, or was was it a completely different chassis?
Look how much of that NB.
This is why I'm
Adam
thinking
attached
just
to the
put
front
on
of
the
that
front of
NA.
his-
Well, I've got an MB dash in mine.
Right,
That
so
just
there's
goes
not
in.
much width-wise then.
Yeah, and I can't remember if I checked. I don't think I had to change much of the air ducts, if any at all.
Right, okay. So it's
I think they're the. Yeah, I think he uses NA stuff. All that. I had to rewire the speedo and stuff, but that's just because it's different connectors. But it's easy. And then all the suspensions interchangeable. Engines stuff.
All of the suspensions interchangeable.
Yeah. The diff.
That seems like there was a lot of laziness going on there. Really.
Yeah.
it looks like a larger car.
There are some.
There's a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's the arches just generally feel.
And maybe the nose because it doesn't have pop-ups.
Yeah, there are some subtle differences, like the subframes are a bit wider, I think, on the rear. I can't remember if the fronts are a bit wider or not.
Do they bolt up?
Yeah, in terms of.
So it's essentially like a 13 and a 14 situation.
Yeah.
Like,
subtle differences, but you can bolt old parts to the new ones and new ones to the
fit.
old ones. And that's why I like the gearboxes, it's swappable. And
Where does that stop, though? Does the NC share anything?
RX-8 stuff for them.
So that the NC is entirely RX-8?
The NC does have the same doorstop bushes. And
those rubber things with the bump in them.
And it also has the same corner front side repeaters on the wing.
Oh yeah, the circular boys.
Yeah, there might be some bits and bobs, but I know that's for sure.
Here's a weird factoid I was told when Gabby was looking for the Fiat Abarth, whatever the fuck it was that the 6-speed engine gearbox that was put in the super fast Abarth 1, 2, 4, we're going to say still, that 6-speed is the NB 6-speed out of the sports. Why?
Well, I thought that there was something interchangeable.
Actually, I did hear that.
There's something interchangeable between S-body 6-speed gearboxes and RX-8
I think
gearboxes.
the internals are the same or something.
But then there's slight differences that mean that then they won't go in each other, but they're basically the same box.
Yeah. Anything will go in it.
Yeah. And then
obviously that's probably permission,
motivated enough.
But then obviously the same will probably be said for the manual in the NC. It should essentially be the same as the RX-8 box.
Yeah, the RX-8 is a tough one, isn't it? Because the RX-8 came out before the NC MX-5. So
it's probably more correct to say that NC's got RX-8 suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like RX-8s. I really like them.
Yeah, but no one is leaving an RX-8 on a driveway pining after its beautiful good looks like they are for RX-7s.
No, but I love how they drive.
If an RX-7 engine explodes, somebody goes, I'm gonna put something in it. It'll be an SR, a V8, or a 1.
Well, here's the
when
thing,
an RX-8 explodes,
you can bolt,
just gets parked.
No, you can bolt an NC front subframe and put a Duratec in it.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was going to get onto.
Yeah.
Will it then be interchangeable for
really?
the 2.5?
Yeah. There's people who've done it already.
So there's RX-8s out there that are being sold for 40p that you could literally just chuck which means you could then put a super duper turbo version in.
Yeah.
Make
there's a dude in America called Jason who's I sent some bits, so he's helped me test some aggregates and stuff, and he's got I don't think his engine's built of like many fancy bits. I think it's just like a stock 2.5.
Yeah.
But it's got a turbo on it. It's making something like 400 wheel horsepower, and it's been doing it for a while as well.
And I think RX-8s with the right little kits, little bits, lowered,
one
good
big
wheels.
Door, one big Lambo door.
Don't want to be in the back with the burst into flames. Driver jumps out, leaves you in there, absolutely fucked.
But yeah, it's
Well, please, somebody out there do one big door.
One big
Lambo door.
Yeah. I'd love to get an RX-8 and put a Duratec in it, but just at the moment I've got too much going on already. Otherwise, I'd already be doing that as well.
Because where my brain is going now is that me and Abby are looking for another car, and she really wants.
She wants a fucking Audi A1, bro.
S1. She wants
S1, whatever. She does not want a fucking RX-8.
I have a
some
funny.
engine in it.
So we finally went and test drove one. What a great car! Like, what a fantastic car. I don't believe you. For people that are boring. For people that don't really want to go really, really fast, but want to also go fast. But also...
People want to go fast whilst they're on Instagram.
So, I won't say...
having fun as a hobby.
I won't go and say where I test drove it, but it was where Bad Monte Cruz used to be. Kid who was showing us around the car trying to do some hard sell. I was like, listen, bro, I know more about this than you. And literally I did. He'd been driving 6 months. I'd been working there 3 months. And he was like, do you want to go on a test drive? I was like, of course I want to go on a test drive. Abby was not 100% on driving it because she got nervous. So anyway, I was like, fuck it, I'll drive it. I'll take it for a spin. And they had tyre shined the fuck out of the tyres. And I mean...
Peel those corners, bro.
Bro, it was tyre shined on the flat top of the tyre.
You're gonna
I knew they were...
oversteer into a curb.
So I'm then driving. I'm like, oh, I'll do a couple of wiggles like down the street, and we ended up on Carrington bypass, all the way down, going towards Caddy's Head, and at the bottom there's an industrial estate with a roundabout coming into it. So I go through the roundabout. There's a 140M behind us, BM, and I go turn the roundabout at like reasonable speed.
Have you got the owner of this vehicle, or
the salesman in the back seat? I was in the passenger seat, so I put my foot down halfway around this roundabout and full on four-wheel drift this car around this roundabout as this kid who's only been driving for 6 months, only been selling cars for 3, is in the back, and I audibly hear him scream over the tyres screaming. Now,
I can guarantee that no other Audi has done anything remotely similar to that.
I was terrified because I didn't expect it, but I knew 100% what it was because I hadn't driven it like a dickhead too much. I was just like feeling how much grip it had and knowing full well that I hadn't really been near the accelerator, but at this point if I let off, it's game over for all of us.
Yeah. The problem is, this is a new vehicle, right?
And I turn the traction control off like a knobhead. Obviously.
Right, brace yourself. It's four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive.
Okay. Realistically, what's the ticket price on this vehicle?
It was 20 grand.
That's dangerously close to being...
S15 money.
S30 money.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is that.
But yeah, the problem is, it's too easy to do. Like, I mean, what's the brake horsepower? What's the engine? What is it?
It's basically a Golf
you say
engine.
S1. When you think of Audi S1, that makes me think of another vehicle.
Yeah, is it the Quattro? No.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a.
But it isn't that.
No, it's got a Golf R engine with a slightly smaller turbo, so it makes a bit less power. But it's like 200 and maybe 40 brake, 250 in a car that's this big.
Jesus.
With 4-wheel drive. It's quite hilarious, and it was fast, but not like usable fast. It was usable fast.
It's also going on Instagram and doing boring things.
You could definitely do like a center diff 360 in it, 100% without even thinking about it.
I prefer my vehicles to be more killy than that.
Yeah,
killy,
like
destroy or kill.
But it was
die or kill.
But then I'm thinking about it. I think I'd rather have a throwaway MX-5 with a.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would.
I'll tell you now though, Abby wouldn't.
No, but I've tried to sell her on like a JZX and shit like that because I'd rather buy a JZX for 20 grand than
she said
S1.
that a JZX looked like a granddad car.
Well, the one the show did it like a Camry. To be fair, yeah, it didn't have any cool stuff on it, so it was a bit boring.
All of them.
Yeah, I know. But like that,
All of them looked shit.
you could spend 20 grand on an S1 and it'd be worth 5 in, I don't know, 3 or 5 years or whatever. But you could spend 20 grand on a JZX 100 or a S15 and it'd be worth 20 grand in 5 years or 25.
Do you know
or
how much
30.
Martin sold his S15 for?
Don't.
I know.
Do you actually? Are you allowed to say
30 grand?
I don't actually know whether I'm allowed to say because it hasn't
Say
been
it anyway.
sold through.
Well,
have you remembered the
yes,
other ones?
101.
Whoever gets it is going to just
So you're at
pay
130.
30 quid for it anyway.
They gave him.
It's still got the blue fucking hose on the elephant dick in the engine bay as
They're
well.
going to get 50 grand for it though.
Yeah,
when they
well,
wrap it off.
it's fucking 70.
I know,
More
this is
like
the
they'll
point.
double it.
They were able to give him strong money for it.
Yeah, because they'll
It
double
almost
it.
feels like that's the way to sell
And then
these cars.
then Queen Bee went and did some big fucking rips in it as well, which is sick. Yeah, Becky just straight away just like rip all the gears.
It seems like if you want to sell a car that is like that, a V8
Oh,
S15, they're worth a knock on the door.
Yeah, 100%.
I would never have thought of that. I'd have never thought of that.
I mean, he was probably putting it out there to see what one of them came knocking,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
I can imagine all of them probably came knocking, and it was whoever offered the most.
Do you reckon they approached him, or did he approach them?
I would have thought they approached him because they're looking all the time. They're always looking
Yeah,
for
my mate
cars.
sold a FN2 Civic.
Yeah, they're always looking.
And he was just normal ads, and then I think they came to view it, and like he thought it was just going to be a regular guy, and he turned up. He's like, "Yeah, it's a dream car thingy." Or one of them, I can't remember which one bought it. And then obviously he bought tickets to try and win it back, but he didn't win it back. But
I'm gonna-
sell,
I'm gonna-
sell
Could you
your
imagine
car.
selling your car and then winning it back?
I'm gonna
So
put a ticket in because I'm gonna take the V8 out, sell it, and put an SR back in it.
Yeah, and you won't have any change.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not bothered. I'd rather do that.
That's the saddest thing these days. Is like you could do that, yeah, great, but you won't have any fucking change.
The sad thing is like I don't like the shiny primer as well. Like I know it's always been that
Oh,
colour.
hang on,
innit?
fire. Like I saw the pictures of it, and I'm looking at it. I'm thinking like, this is actually quite low. It's
It
got
looks
good
great.
fitment,
It looks
it's got
fantastic.
Good wheels.
Yeah,
the combination
yeah,
of that colour. Don't get me wrong, not a fan of the colour, but
No.
that colour with the bronze, that works for me. And as an overall car, you look at that car.
I've
it
had so many
works.
messages from Martin over that car, and like
Mainly
He knows
about
my-
power steering pumps that or was it a pump? What was it that you didn't send him
I
for
didn't
nearly
send him
6
for
months?
fucking ages.
that
No, it
you
wasn't.
paid?
It wasn't that long. I think it was that. Was it that long?
Yeah, it was. Martin's shouting at the screen now.
Yeah, I know, I
He's saying,
can't
yeah, it was that
remember.
long.
I was
It was
such a
it
bad
was
cunt
it was
with that.
it was. I sent you this money, and you're like, oh, it's in a warehouse. The
Yeah.
shipping company. Oh, it's been
No,
sent back. It's
so-
been,
so
been
what-
returned. Oh, it's been lost.
No, what happened was we have a goods in door at our work, and I put the wrong address on where it needed to go. So essentially, I sent it to myself.
Coffee verb.
And I haven't had the confidence or
And Scanner
bollocks to
gets
say
scammed.
that. Yeah, I know, pretty bad. And I'm like, I haven't got a fucking clue where it is. They keep marking it as delivered. I don't know where it
Where's
is.
my
And then
money?
one day someone
Wop,
came from
wop,
the back and
wop,
was like,
wop.
this box has been in the back for you for ages. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
So I open it
It's
up. and
from you.
It's Martin's poster pub. And I was just like, oh yeah.
Suddenly you realise
I'd
what's
got the
happened.
worst bit
It's
about it
Saul.
was-
He sent packages to himself back in
No,
time.
The worst thing about it was because
It's an
someone
episode of TNG.
it was funny in that because someone had signed it with just HW, which is obviously Highwire company name. They then just marked
They
it
signed
as,
HW.
well, they just marked it as lost, and they refunded the money for
Brilliant.
for everything,
Brilliant.
for the whatever I've insured it for, and then I just sent it to mine.
Jesus Christ.
Which I didn't ever own up to them or say it. I was just like, fuck it, they've given me the I don't know.
So you could have
did you tell
essentially-
Martin you'd been
yeah,
refunded?
you could have sent Martin the fucking money back, couldn't you?
I did offer to, and he said no. He said no because the S15's just sat there that it's going in.
Because Martin's such a nice fucking guy. He
yeah.
does have that with the S15, to be fair. He is, Dory Fest this
Now
year.
he's got
I'm excited for that.
Bare P, he can finish that car.
Yeah, that's
Bare
true.
pea smells.
Is he doing that, or is he?
He's probably going to finish that one and then sell that one to them as well.
It does seem like a sudden move, doesn't it?
I mean, I think he. It's obviously not an overnight thing because that's been synonymously his car. Like how long has he had it? 10 years maybe.
I don't know.
It's been a long
while.
time.
Yeah,
A long
it's been a
time.
while. But it's. I'd like to think he's going to put all that money into the other one, but like.
No, I wouldn't. I'd buy something else because I've already got an S15.
Yeah, maybe.
With
yeah.
probably all the bits. I'd probably just go buy something really cool like a M2.
I'd buy a load of mouthwash.
Feel like no, do you know what I would buy? I'd go and buy JZX.
I'd buy a load of NCs.
Yeah, you fucking would, wouldn't you? You fucking.
I don't, do you know what?
Love an MC, me. You know what? I could tell you some stories about MC.
What's interesting? You don't get many like middle people that own MX-5s.
I love them.
You
I
either
do.
get
Eat, sleep, breathe them. I do.
a 60-year-old very odd man owning an MX-5
Yeah.
who's
Very
got
odd
the
man.
chrome luggage bars on his boot.
Chrome luggage bars. Fucking chrome luggage bar cunts are the worst.
He's gone on to the
Or a-
MX5 parts website.
yeah.
and just clicked Chrome.
All of it. Yeah, he's just
but there's
selected
so
chrome
many.
and
There are so
bought
many like
everything in chrome.
so many weird chrome things.
But
for
he's
an
also
MX-5
got
that you can
like
buy
he's also
from
got like
Mazda.
he's got a silver exterior with like the grossest orange tan interior.
Yeah.
With green piping or
They
something.
didn't do
fucking
weird shit like
hanging.
that Mark 3s, which is another
Yeah.
reason to get.
Yeah, just black leather.
I'm sure they did some weird options.
No, they
but-
did do
NAs,
many.
NAs all have, or not all,
NAs
but lots
have weird
NAs have
shit.
really cool fucking not Nabori. Nardi.
No, yeah, they had Nardi. Well, some
Nabari-
of them had Momo
Nabari
wheels
wheels.
as well, I think.
Did they?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, the BBR Turbo that Keeley had, that had a really complicated steering wheel that if you just pulled the middle off, like this, I say complicated, it looked like like an airbag.
The car
with-
flipped.
and then with like a section over the that went.
Oh,
over
like a padding padded cover.
like this
Just
huge
the
cover
Momo
to
underneath.
make a normal Momo look like a
Yeah.
Normal steering
like a
wheel.
modern steering wheel.
Yeah.
And he just you're like, yeah, there you go.
Off. Looks cool.
Yeah, I think that's the one I've got in my workshop somewhere. I think
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's from my first MX-5. That is.
Yeah.
It's weird that, though, isn't it? Because, like I was saying, you get either one side of the spectrum for people who own these cars, old men,
Yeah.
bald, chrome luggage thing on the boot,
Yeah.
or young kids who want drift them.
Yeah.
I say young kids as in
Yeah,
us,
you know
but
what's
no,
now
we're not
missing?
young. It's like weird.
What's now
No.
missing is the 35 to 45-year-old women who used to own these
No,
vehicles.
who that was marketed
they don't,
to.
They don't own them anymore.
No. Who
None
it was
of them have
marketed to.
That's basically who I bought mine off.
There's a fucking
She
dog
wasn't,
out
she
there.
wasn't that old, but yeah.
No, but that's probably what the marketing department were like. These are the kind of people that are going to buy this car.
Probably was. And it was either them or Audi TTs.
But
Yeah.
they probably all ended up in Audi TTs, to be
Yeah.
fair.
But yeah.
Yeah, and then ended up crashing them because they couldn't be bothered putting a spoiler on the back. Hey, Poppy, how you doing, dog? You good?
Buck,
You good? What you doing out here?
you got to come hump down.
Sniffing.
Sniffing.
No.
Right, see you later.
Not on camera.
See you later, dog.
I've already got her on camera humping me.
Yeah.
Damn, bitch.
I said the horse whisperer. It's not even a horse.
She was keen.
She was
Right,
relentless.
so when you get into RX-8s then?
I'm already in them, basically.
Yeah, no,
in a way.
what I mean, like
Well, hang on, let me say, because I was saying about the 2-litre Sport that I bought, wasn't I?
yeah.
First of all.
Before we went on an enormous tangent,
Mm.
welcome to the Law Origin podcast.
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 It's a podcast. Dude, look at this here. Look at that fucking hell.
Racist.
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm getting an Irish passport. I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I should apply
She's
for
like-
one.
This is another tangent, isn't
She's
it?
Irish. Yeah, this happens. She's Irish, so I'm applying for Irish.
I should apply for mine.
Welcome to the EU. Get fucked, everyone else. I'm gonna get my my black passport will go into a bin, and I will get my
My-
blue.
Why are you
blue
putting the black passport in the bin?
because the because it's no longer relevant. It is a UK one, and I will no longer be a UK citizen. I will be an Irish.
No, you'll still
citizen.
be a UK citizen. You'll just have an
No,
Irish
I'll
passport
have an
as well.
Irish passport.
Yeah, but you'll still be a UK
dual
citizen.
nationality. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'll have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
went to school with a kid who later moved to Australia, but when he came to the UK and got pulled over, he showed him his Australian driver license, and then
Yeah.
he did the same when he's in there.
Yeah. Do you know in America
Oh,
you have
shit.
to renounce your nationality?
In Australia,
In America, sorry.
In America.
So when you,
you
get
can have
your
dual nationality anywhere. You must.
if
be
you
able
get
to.
your official,
What
I
about
think
if
it's
you
your
cross your fingers behind your back when you do it.
well, but apparently to get
I
to become
renounce it.
full citizen in America, you have to renounce your original nationality.
I've heard of having to surrender your old passport in scenarios like that.
But you have to
Anyway, 2-litre
renounce.
sport engine, go.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was I saying?
MX-5.
Yeah. So it
No.
should have been basically
Oh, sorry,
MX-5.
double what I paid for it because
Yeah.
this. Yeah, she was like clearly not
But
ever
it was
used it.
Ron.
Anyway, and so I went to look at it with Lewis Aiken.
Yeah.
And he waited with the boyfriend of the woman while we went on a test drive. And I got back and I was like, cool, we'll just have a chat about it and see what I think. And he's like, you can haggle this one. He said the boyfriend said, just fully dropped her in it basically. She like, never uses it, blah, blah, blah. And just, he did not give a shit. He just wanted
Yeah.
it gone.
Yeah.
And so I just like, cool. I was like, well, I'll offer you this much. And she's like, I could get that much for it. And I said, yeah, but you're gonna, that's in summer though. You're going to leave it sat under a tree for another 6 months, getting
Yeah.
rustier and wetter and everything. I was
Yeah.
like, you clearly don't drive it. The brakes were stuck on, all this stuff. And she
Had you discovered any rust at this point?
it was a little bit crusty underneath, but you can't really tell how bad it is until you get there. But to be fair, that car wasn't that bad actually. That one I could just clean it all off and treat it before it got too bad. But anyway, the 500 quid one, I was like, started doing that, and yeah, it was just absolutely gone in the back. But it's both of them. It's like fine till you get to the rear firewall bulkhead thing before the tank and everything, and then it's like right from that point on, just
Ron.
rotten. Yeah,
It's like Alex's car.
it's weird. But like,
Well, not anymore. Although,
yeah.
actually, yeah, no, at the moment it is, yeah.
The back it is, yeah. Right at the back. Right very far back.
The front's good, middle's good.
well, the
back,
thing,
not so much.
The thing with them as well, though, because of where it drains in, it doesn't go
Rear
into
pockets.
Yeah, well, it doesn't go into the sill. It goes into like the little pocket where the seatbelt winder is, and then that fills up, and then it overflows into the floor, which is
yeah.
where you find when I've got water in my car.
Yeah.
But the post that goes down for the subframe mounting goes through there as well, and
Oh,
then
so that
the
can
water
go.
can get in there, and it just fills up the void where the like subframe support goes on.
Yeah.
So I had to cut them off to like clear all out and then put them back on and do all that kind of stuff. And
So the ones that are really nice, that are expensive, they probably are worth that sort of money, really, then, aren't they? You know, but then when you're getting dogs that are, like we just looked at, then that are $1,000.
Yeah,
there's probably not a lot of them.
If
that
you're
are
going to
left.
do it as a drift car,
yeah, it doesn't really matter.
If you're looking for a cheap car, then if you could get like a 2 litre manual to mint and just chuck some, because they come on 16, so you could just chuck some of the 16s on and just
that's the thing.
70s, baby.
They have relatively decent size. Well, I say relatively, so you can do things like drop knuckles and stuff like that without kind of worrying too much about someone turning and go, well, I've got 14-inch wheels. Will these drop knuckles lower my car through the wheel?
Well, you say that the fronts aren't too bad. The rears are quite close because the it's like a traction arm that sits really far down.
Hey, so, but they're double wishbone, I'm assuming.
Not on the rear, no, the multi-link on the rear. They're double wishbone on the front and multi-link at the rear.
What does multi-link mean?
More than like just a load of arms.
Oh, so like an S-body.
Links.
Is an S-body a multi-link?
Yeah, but it's more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
But the point is, MX NAs, NBs, it was front and rear, nice and easy, double wishbone front and rear.
Yeah.
Or relatively nice and easy, front and rear. And then on the NC, so they're now multi-link.
5 or 6 arms on the rear on
Jesus
each side.
Christ.
I think it's 5. There's like 2 at the top. There's
2 at the top.
Yeah, there's 2 at the top.
Are they just lying? Is it basically double wishbone? Or they just?
It's essentially double
they're all
wishbone, but they've
different-
cut them all apart. They've just individual arms.
Instead of they've just gone like they've just cut
split
these
them up.
in half.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Wisefab have done. They've combined them into, they've combined 2 of them into one arm and do all that. Because I did done this drop knuckle, but it's
Fucking
Sporty.
Audi people.
We saw your MX-5 outside and was like, whoa.
I'm gonna show him how to press literally one pedal in a straight line.
colour me impressed.
Yeah.
Fucking fact.
Probably an S1.
It was like that Colt on the way here that literally waited for me to drive past him and then go.
Yeah.
We're in almost bumper to bumper traffic. What are you? And I'm going. My lane's going faster than yours, so I'm going to win anyway.
Or the Renault Clio man that when we went to the shop and we'd walk past and he'd give it.
He drove past it. He saw your car and went, and then he put his foot down afterwards. But it was an auto.
Yeah, farm up.
Part map.
Yeah.
So fucking lame.
But, yeah.
Anyway, what were we up to?
So
Multi-link.
I got that car real cheap.
Multi-link on the back of a C. Do you have any intention of doing D things?
Huh?
ND things.
Oh, ND. I thought you were doing D things. Like,
Doing stuff with your dick.
with my dick.
That's one of my favourite scenes.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, I need to. I'll probably look into it after NC.
I suppose
they're not
kind of
cheap
got
enough
they've
at
got
this
a
point,
couple
are they?
down
Yeah.
haven't they? And
You've got to wait another 15 years.
I think they're going to hold the value because, like we were saying before, there's not going to be that many of them. So, like the people that have them want them. I wonder if they're going to make any more. Or do you think that's dead? That market.
I've got a feeling
now?
they said they would.
It's interesting though because then like Toyota are killing off the GT86 and the GR and all that shit because they don't feel like the market's there. But then Mazda are like, bro, we're carrying on with the MX-5.
They might do. I might have been making it up. I don't know. But they didn't they say they were going to do rotary engines again?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know how the fuck that could possibly work. As a hybrid, it kind of makes sense. As like here's instead of having a petrol like a Prius, having like a piece of shit 3-cylinder or just some for. It makes sense to just have an absolute batshit crazy bonkers engine.
But they're going to be like
you've also
one
got
rotor.
electric motors as well.
Yeah. One rotor. That's
One rotor.
Yeah.
In fact, it wouldn't even be it would be
Yeah, because obviously the is the multiple rotors.
stupid fucking engine.
Strange. It was a plane engine originally, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was in a motorbike as well, wasn't it? It was a racing motorbike.
There was a bus in the 1940s.
Wasn't the motorbike really successful? It was like
The
super
1950s.
light, super fast. It was a sport, a racing, a race bike.
Have you seen the
track bike.
triple one? The triple rotor. It sounds ridiculous, but there's 3. It's a single iron with 3 rotors.
Oh, side by side.
Well, not
What?
side.
Oh, yeah, but yeah.
One here, one like this. It's
I like
utterly,
what about those
bonkers.
opposing piston engines? You seen them?
Oh, ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
No, where they don't have a head on them. Essentially, the compression is 2 pistons moving towards each other.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It looks like
Double
a weird.
crank.
It looks like a weird boxer engine that's been
Backwards.
turned inside out.
So no head.
No head.
That's a world I don't want to live in. I never knew the VR6 is it like a
Yeah, it's not really.
it's
not really a
it's
V6.
like a straight
it's
six,
pretty much
but
a
it's
straight
not.
six.
Yeah, they're like only ever so slightly off, which is
Yeah.
interesting. I never knew. I
But
just
then
thought they
this
were
from
in
the
like
same
6.
company that developed the W12, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
basically a couple of VR6 engines
Just
slapped
slapped together,
in
yeah.
exactly the same nonsensical way.
Yeah, it was just interesting because I think I saw one stripped down. Oh, it was on Hoonigan when he was putting one in his 8.6.
Yeah.
Brian Scott, and the spark plugs are ever so slightly just wiggly,
Yeah.
and they talk about how it is a V6 but not a V6.
Yeah. I think it's purely for space, isn't it? Really, you try and put a 6-cylinder, a straight 6, in a front-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist, does
no.
it? Saying that, I can't think of any straight 6s that are actually in a front-wheel drive vehicle longitudinally mounted.
No, all V6. I would have thought.
Yeah.
What's a safe space?
Maxima.
Yeah, but that's a
That's a
V6.
V6. Yeah.
Because that was the one that I
Straight
thought of straight away. And then obviously there's a lot of Hondas that are V6, but they're
Yeah, that's it. They're all
Front wheel.
They're all V6s. They're all, none of them are straight 6s.
no.
I don't think you can.
But then like you had
can
like
make it.
years ago, like you had straight 8s and all sorts of mad
Straight
shit.
8s?
Yeah, old cars like straight 8s, straight 12s.
Straight 12s.
That's probably down
Inline
to
12,
more
like-
down to like
Old
Machining
shit. Probably
ability.
just
But,
simple, they were just like probably like square blocks. That's
Yeah,
it.
Caddy did that. It was about 20 years ago now. They did a V16 that they put in like. I think they made one. In fact, didn't Rolls Royce make one V16, which was technically
plain
made-
engine, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a plain engine, and then it got scrapped, and nobody bothered with
Yeah,
it.
but
and then
didn't
somebody
didn't,
then put it back together and made
didn't
it.
Mr. Bean end up with one in his
Yeah.
Cause he talked about it on Top Gear
I think he did,
years
didn't he?
ago.
Yes,
there
he did.
There
It
was like
was
four
Rowan
engines.
Atkinson.
Yeah, there was like 4 engines ever made or
Yeah.
something. Loads of them were scrapped, but like 2 of them were left.
Yeah.
Didn't he
And he
also
fucked
write
one.
off a McLaren F1 and it
Yeah.
was cheaper to repair it than pay out the market value of it?
Yeah.
But there
Yeah.
was because that dude, what's his name from AC/DC? Didn't he have a plain engined?
Yeah, I feel
Car
like he
as
did.
well.
Yeah, but that
Plain
was
engine,
that was an
old
old,
thing.
super old
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
But then I mean, what's the guy's name? He's one of
Paul.
like the kings or something in the UAE, and he's got like the biggest collection of McLaren F1s or something ridiculous.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got like a big percentage of
of
whatever
them, yeah.
exists, and they never move, and it's all like dead controversial that they
I've got
all
the biggest
are
percentage
ruined.
of whatever exists.
No, I
What a
mean,
guy.
he's-
What a claim!
it was something stupid. Like I think it was on
bet he's
it was on
excited with the bar.
it was on
I
Donut.
have
It was on
got-
Donut. He could drive a different car every day for like.
Got a pair of
It
shoes,
was
have you?
something insane,
I've got
like
more.
60
I've
years.
got more.
It was something ridiculous. Like he could drive a different car every day for. It was like 16.
Well, good for him. Good for
Imagine that,
guy.
though.
Cool.
Imagine
Good
setting
for
up the
him.
Bluetooth every time. It's not. What's the password? It's not connected.
She's for the streets.
He stopped. He says he'll say on the screen. Is the code 4638? Continue. I'm not even going to look. I'm not even going to look on my phone. Yeah,
Yes.
It is, yeah.
yeah.
Scrolling through his
right,
Bluetooth list like it's a contact. Like
We've talked Mazda stuff, and we talked MX-5e stuff and RX-80 stuff. You do also have a PS13, which
Yes.
is, to my knowledge, you bought. What would nearly be 10 years ago? Is it 10 years ago? Or is it more than 10
I think
years
it's
ago?
8.
Is it
I
8?
think.
yeah, it's
Came
not
up-
quite 10
yeah.
because
I
I
thought
already
it was
had my
13 or
14.
No, it came
14.
up the other day. On my
Are
memory.
you chewing that cable?
Yeah,
You
there's a
nutter.
cat there chewing
Mains.
Twin and Earth mains cable.
We had a cat that
2.5
did that.
mil. You only do it once.
Yeah, she only did it once.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
She went behind a cabinet and chewed, and then it tripped the RCDs, and because the lamp went out, and she went fired out. And,
I wish that
survived
had the white cat chews on. I don't know. I'm pointing over there. It's just where they are. We've got a load of those silicon Apple cables.
Yeah, yeah.
Got laptop cables, 19 volts, and a load of 5-volt cables as well. And she's chewed in loads of multiple places, and I don't know why she won't stop. Like
Get
you
one of
clearly,
the 20 amp ones.
I know.
When she bites that hooker, she'll stop.
just smother them in chili sauce.
just smother them.
In chili sauce.
Just smother the cat. Just
No, when
night.
Yeah.
when my
Off.
dog was tiny, he was kept chewing the sofa. There was a certain part of that she kept chewing, so I just dabbed a bunch of hot sauce on it once, and then she went and did it again.
No chance. Never again.
About 10 minutes later, she tried it again, and it was like, and that
Would
was
you,
it.
do you know what worked with the fluffy cat that was here before? She tore the stairs to pieces, and we'd paid like the most. We'd never bought a carpet in our life, and we moved here. We're like, let's buy
Bare
some nice
expensive.
carpet. Like fucking hell, it's well expensive. Got the bottom stair ripped entirely apart, and I mean like we didn't know what to. You'd hear her doing it, run after her, and she'd already be fucked left. and then someone said, "Oh, just rub a bit of lemon on it." And we're like, this whatever. We got to the point where, okay, we're going to try and rub some lemon on this fucking step. Stopped immediately.
Yeah.
So we lost that entire step. When we could have
Just put some
we
lemon.
could have just put some
lemon
fucking
on it.
lemon juice
Yeah.
or sprayed it with some fucking lemon, anything,
Yeah.
and it worked.
You could have just garnished it. And
Probably, yeah. Minor garnish should have been fine. Anyway, S-body thing. So you do also do.
doo-doo.
Now, do you do just the front knuckles, or do you do? You don't do any rear knuckly stuff, do you?
Not yet, no.
No.
I'd like to, but again, it's just another thing limited with time at the moment. But
Yeah.
So, I mean, as you, I think
I've
you've got.
I've got it.
We
I've
do.
Got,
We all
yeah.
do got them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
well, I know you got the knuckles. Have you got the subframes as well?
I've got the
Yeah.
subframes, the lower arms, and the knuckles.
Okay.
I think you've got the subframe and the knuckles,
Yep.
but not the lower arms.
No, I think I'm still on like cut fucking ones from.
Yeah,
like a
you're on
million
stock
years
because you were on the proviso that if you bent one, it would be easier to get, which is fair enough. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
and then I have to say to you, "Can I have another lower arm, please?" And then
Yeah.
it'd be like, "Yeah, okay, I'll put you in the queue of every other fucker that's getting one." Kind
No,
of
I've
thing.
got them loads on the shelf.
They're on the shelf.
There you go.
Get in
Yeah.
contact
Buy
with
them.
Daniel now. Ring him
This-
on 07800.
But this is the thing, like from in the past kind of couple of years that has really changed business-wise is getting everything in stock and keeping it
Yeah,
in stock, and
yeah.
that's like
The opposite of what I've now done with Origin.
Get it all out of stock.
Get it all gone.
Make it
Drop
someone else's
shipping.
problem.
Everything's dropship.
Well,
Go
it's
away,
just-
please.
It was. I was trying to do that anyway, and then obviously all that stuff happened that just made it even harder. But then it's kind of there's so much money now in just sat on the
Stock.
shelves
Yeah.
of like.
Yeah.
So at any kind of given day, I try and have. I've usually got about. I think it's about 40 sets of front lower arms and.
Does your accountant always make you do stock takes?
Yeah.
Fucking.
But it's good. Like if you stay on top of it, that's the worst thing. It's when you fall behind, then it's like. But anyway, that's a
Yeah.
really boring conversation.
Yeah, that is.
But yeah, so there's
Business 101 with Daniel Pryor.
I don't know because we had an audit the other day and the guy was like, "Oh, you've not done your stock take." So then we had one the week afterwards, and a guy comes from our parent company to do it with us to monitor the stock take.
Yeah.
parent.
It comes from your dad's company.
Yeah, parent company. The
You bring my
owners.
dad.
And
Hello, Daddy.
they bring scales like industrial scales,
Yeah.
calibrated things, and they make you weigh a certain amount and then put the boxes on to work
Yeah,
out how.
yeah.
And it's just fucking arduous. And then you find like a box of 10 of something you should have thousands of, and they go, "We're going to make sure that we count them." And there's one thing that we've used once, and there's one left because we've over-ordered. We've ordered like 20, and then just to make sure, so we don't have to order them again because they're a special order. We've ordered 21, and one's ended up on the shelf. And my boss is stood in front of him, and he goes like that. "What's that over there?" And just throws it in the canal. He goes, "It's gone now."
I'll tell you now, that canal is conveniently close to your front door. I can believe that.
It's shallow as fuck with all the stuff that's in it.
Yeah, it's definitely a scene of some murders as well.
Yeah, we've had all sorts of stuff happen there.
Hey, but crucially, not been robbed since.
Not been robbed. No.
We
Shout out Law Secure with the alarm shit. Police monitoring, boy.
Anyway,
Business.
No, so front knuckles wise, so we do a version of you. I say we do. We've not stocked it.
You do.
I do them.
A version
and
of
then they're yellow.
your knuckle for us in
Yeah.
yellow.
Yeah, which is essentially just your knuckle in yellow.
It's got sick.
But I really like it. I'll be honest. I've had when I first started drifting, I had no knuckles. Then some people were like, "Hey, we fit rack spaces and we can get a little bit of lock." And I'm like, "Oh, that sounds really exciting. I'll do that. Fit some rack spaces." And that was really cool. And I'll be honest, that was probably a really nice time in drifting because, yes, you would sometimes spin out. You had a little bit more lock, but you weren't like fucking doing big stuff. But you drove the car within its limits. And then I got some Super Clarky knuckles. Do you remember Super Clarky?
Oh, well, I had them on my car for
2010,
X amount of time.
2010, 11? Super Clarky knuckles, which were, if the story is correct, which it may not be, because it's like third, fourth hand from lots of people, it was a set of knuckles that were made when the guys came over from Japan in 2005. Someone did some measuring. whilst the cars were in the garages.
Someone offered to look after the cars securely.
Oh yeah, they did.
And then took every
Yep.
picture possible to
Yep.
catalogue what they'd done and,
Yep. And
where
they took all these
made
pictures and
things
stuff,
good.
and then started marketing them.
Yeah,
heavily,
started selling them.
them.
Yeah, I had
Um,
Super Clarky knuckles on my car for up until I replaced them with yours.
Yeah, right.
And they were fucking sick.
Yeah,
and then replacing them with yours, but drop knuckles, made the car drive exactly the same, other than transition so much faster.
Yeah.
Like it was, I don't know if it was because you were saying like my car steers different to yours.
Yeah, which is weird because we're on the same knuckles, but
We're on the same knuckles, but I'm on different subframe and arms, so I've got technically slightly more lock because I've got the scalloped. Is it scalloped? Would you call it scalloped?
Notched or
Notched.
clearanced.
Yeah.
Army boy, so allows my ball joint
I do.
to just fuck off in that little
I don't
gap.
have as much lock as you do. That's true. But at the same time, yours seems. And I think it's down to alignment.
I think it's my rear setup that's now letting me down. Not letting me down.
It's not letting you down. It's just that it's different.
It's the Geomaster rears, but they're not having a alignment to utilise the tyre. Then
I think your rear traction arm is too short. But
well,
I don't
no,
actually
I've
think it's
set
a
it to the measurement that Dan gave me, which was 18 mil over stock, or
okay.
which is what everyone should do.
Well, I don't know then. I don't know. But the point is, yours pivots centrally.
Yeah.
So instead of swinging around like this, yours seems to just sort of rotate
But
in the
I
middle.
quite
of the car.
like because
I do.
It,
I don't
it
mind
kind
it.
of like
It's
goes
weird.
from this to like this really fast,
really
but
quickly.
then the way it moves, it doesn't then move across the track. It just stays on the track,
Yeah.
and then because the old knuckles
Doesn't
used to
stay on the
move
track.
it used to
doesn't.
move. Well, this is the thing.
I'll
So it used to, but the way it used to move across the track was kind of predictable.
This
but
is
now
what
because it just
happened.
goes cinnabit, it just goes off.
Goodbye.
Yeah, just me not then being used to it.
No, I like it. Like, you know, at Driftland where you do that middle bit where you come across the middle of the track, or you do the what's the names?
Second cut through.
Yeah, there's like your car will sort of do it really quickly, so you can be like pow 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 pow, and you can keep your foot pinned through that section there without dying, and it seems to grip up. Quite
I think it's just like that's
Anyway,
the bit that I'm
anyway.
trying to get used to. The way it
Anyway.
completely drives. It's sick though.
Anyway,
Thank
so
you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Very cool. I then went from Super Clarky Knuckles to Geomaster 2s.
Twos.
Which had, I think there was it a 60 or 70 mil drop? I can never remember.
You could never.
It
Tell
doesn't,
me
it
what
doesn't
it is.
matter. I think originally they were designed to be for like touring cars or something like that. They were.
just
That's what
gonna
they were
nod and
designed
agree,
for.
yeah.
I think that's what they originally were designed for. But the happy accident was that it made all your arms nice and flat and blah 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 blah. And the race, I used to sometimes feel that I would feel like there was good feel in places, and then I would then lack feel in others. And I remember having to.
You had to force feed the
Whose
wheel.
car did I drive? It was Dan's car, Dan Joyce's, and I remember
That's like when
I
my
let
knuckles on.
I let go. Yeah, I let go of the wheel, and it did lots of self-centering and things. And
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I suddenly was able to drive Dan's car by using the accelerator and the wheel. I would go let off, and the car would do this. And I was letting go of the wheel, and I hadn't been able to let go of the wheel for years. So then I got your knuckles, and then suddenly I got that sensation back again.
Yeah, that
and
self-centering is
It's so
beautiful.
stupid to. It's really hard to describe, and I don't possess the vocabulary to do a good job of it. But it really made me. You feel a lot more confident. Like you can, like at Driftland, I do things slightly differently. I just do the way I like it. But like when you're coming down the main straight, you got the checkered wall. I like to stick right, and then for me, I'm sort of towards the end of third. I'll start to accelerate and push, and then break traction as the car starts to pivot towards the wall, and then now I'm able to let off and immediately gas it on the clutch, and the car just transitions perfectly. It transitions perfectly against the wall and out and round. Whereas before, I was constantly steering. I steered the entire track, and it was I didn't realise I'd been conditioned for like 10 years of driving. This is how we drive.
This is how you do your drive test.
Yeah, like you watch any in-car footage of me previously.
You're feeding the
I
wheel.
am endlessly feeding the fucking wheel. Yeah. And don't be wrong, like you get used to driving like that. That's how. I mean, some people say like some of the if you do.
That's how your driving instructor tell you to do it.
Yeah, like with Wise Fab.
Top of third. Keep feeding, bro. Keep feeding, bro.
You can sometimes find you get
10 to 12.
Is it 10 to 12? Yeah, it's 10 to 12. No, it'd be
10 past
10 to
It's almost lunchtime, isn't it?
10 past 10.
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
2, that's it.
Yeah, 10 to 12.
10 to 12.
They see me rolling. They hate it.
Even in my head, I was thinking about the clock.
sandwiches.
Oh, it's been a long day.
It's not 10 to 12. You're right.
I am now.
It's nearly 10 to 12
So
though.
you've eaten that fucking. It isn't 10
I'm
to 12.
taking the piss now. It's fine.
Fuck me. I know.
It's 10 to 10 though.
Last fucking
That's
podcast
even funny.
Last podcast we did with 10 to 10. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, when the it was well past midnight with Fraser.
Jesus Christ.
And your
yeah.
neighbours are all throwing shit at us.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, rightfully so. Stop talking shit at
Yeah.
fucking midnight, you bunch of absolute dickheads. Anyway, so your PS. Now, your PS started as 8 years ago. It started as a CA18 detted vehicle. Now, originally it was, or as far as I'm aware, it was a gentleman called Vincent Newt's car, and he was a gentleman from EDC days, EDC days, olden days.
Yeah.
One of the most striking things I remember about that particular vehicle when I first saw it, back when Max had it, was its cage didn't just look like toilet roll.
Well, it was formed without the use of a mandrel bend. And there was corners that definitely had creases and kinks in it.
First of all, there were corners.
There was corners.
Yeah.
But there was non-mandrelly bends in tube,
Which is an odd thing to see these days. Hey, did you see that guy selling that E90 Bolton E92 roll cage on Facebook Marketplace? Wild. The guy. I'm gonna throw these crisps because fuck those crisps.
Oh, don't start the story and then continue. Oh, really? Just like
That was how my cage was in the PS.
the corners were just
Exactly.
welded, like just perfectly folded.
Now
So
that was the bit that comes like
a pillar.
a pillar. Yeah, it was
Well,
wild.
that's how my cage was done in that. There was and
Jesus.
the rear diagonal had been sleeved because I guess they couldn't get the tube in and they cut it in the
Cut
middle.
it and
That's
sleeve
the
it
bit.
back
That's
up.
the bit that was most striking. Like you look behind you in
Yeah.
the car, you're like,
Ooh,
damn.
okay. And there was a bit where like
There's a bit of scaff bar was definitely just plonked
yeah,
over the
but
top.
there were bits where it wasn't till I mean I knew it was bad from being in it, but when I cut it out and got to be able to see around the back of some of the tubes, that were
Yeah,
just,
that's
they,
the thing.
They just welded what they could reach.
Yeah, what you could see. And
Weld
that was
what
it.
you could see.
Yeah, and it was just, and I remember one of them where some of the did like tubes joined in the corner, and there was clearly some sort of gap or something, and they just cut like a little bit about that big out, and
just
they were
put
just
it in.
welded around it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was
That's an EDC car. That
It's an
passed.
Yeah, but you got to think EDC days. It was like I remember the last EDC event I saw, and it was like Carl Farrer and 3 other guys I'd never seen before, and that they weren't battling. They were just driving around on the track and
Just
then
demos.
Then they went in, and then that was it. That was the EDC.
Winner.
yeah.
Well, the winner is nobody.
Well-
Everyone's poorer.
Because there was, Vince had it, but I think there was some overlap between him and Greg Gush sharing it or
okay,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because Greg owned it as well. At some point, there's old photos of him driving it,
Okay.
and I actually got.
Did
it
anyone admit to the cage shit?
I think I can't remember if he told me. I'm sure somebody told me it was
No one's
either
gonna.
them.
No one's gonna admit to that
It
shit.
was. I think it was them two. I'm sure someone told me. That it was kind of done in like the night before a round of BDC. And
I mean, infinitely more dangerous than not having a cage, having a load of scaffolding in the car that's not
Yeah.
structurally sound, that's just going to impale you in the event of a bad accident.
Yeah,
it's just going
pretty
to get so much worse for you inside.
Yeah.
yeah.
By having
Exactly.
additional tubing to fuck you up.
Exactly. I mean, this is their argument with bolting cages now that like when if sections came apart.
So like the brackets and
Yeah.
stuff that are
Yeah.
just
And
jagged edges.
I get that. Like mine's a fucking part bolting cage. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. If I'm honest, I do kind of need to be the start again completely, or what I don't know. But part of me just thinks it is what it fucking is at this point. I'm not competing. If I did roll the fucking car, part of me does think, God, wouldn't it suck to be killed by your own cage?
Yeah, run into it.
But then it's also, you think, we do have kids now, and
Yeah, I know. But my God, what the fuck would a cage cost in that now? To
to do it properly.
to charge me to remove the cage first.
Yeah, God. Mine's alright, because mine just unbolt.
Yeah.
But you're kind of a bit further down that.
Well, the guy, what was it? It was Sump Scuffers. It was the first year, and we did the 2013 season.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. I did the 2012 season, and then we went into the 2013 season, and they were like, "Oh yeah, your cages. You need to have double door
Double
bars,
door
which
bars,
is
yeah.
fine, because mine had double door bars, but yours needs to have no kinks that go inwards.
Yeah,
right?
it needs to
Kink
be
shame in your
outwardly
cage.
kinks,
Kink
yeah.
shame in my fucking cage.
Needed outward kinks.
They wouldn't,
my-
they wouldn't have that in these days, would you?
Oh no, God, no. Ooh, no. So, so my cage. I mean, who the fuck designs a cage like this? But my cage. This is the bottom bar was a bar. Very simple. The upper bar went up, over, round, down, over here, round a speaker, back round, and then.
Well, it was designed to fit still with
I
a
mean,
standard door.
Could you
door cars.
imagine being the poor person in China with a mandrel bender being given this design by Fabricage and saying, "Hey, can
Standing
you
there just sweating?
you need to bend this single pipe, this 1 meter length of pipe. You need to bend it 60 times around speakers and door pockets.
We'll imprison your family for 10 years for every piece that you scrap.
Yeah. Yes. A human rights violation.
Oh, it wasn't China. It's Korea that did that. It was North Korea.
Bound.
Did generational prison sentences.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not gonna lock you up. We're gonna lock your fucking family up.
Well,
Wow.
they
That's wild.
From what I remember, so like if you did something horrible and you were
North Korea.
say you were like 60 and they're right, so you get a 100-year sentence. So when you die, your family goes in as well,
Yeah.
or maybe they put more in at the same time and you can all serve the sentence together.
Imagine
in jail.
like, oh, he only made it 10 years. Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
Next one.
Yeah,
Can you imagine hoping that they might live?
I know.
God, I hope he
Please
lives another
survive.
He's in his 60s now. Fuck. Oh, he's been smoking and tanning durries every day.
Come on, Dad, we're going for a run.
God, you'd be so sour if you like
My dad popped
died
it.
young.
Yeah.
Oh, you cunt.
Yeah.
You've now
Got
got
a
to pick up
97
this
year
tab.
stretch. Shit. But like,
Anyway, how do we get to this? Okay, so the car it was CA.
Yeah.
It had a terrible cage.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it was CA when I got it, but before I got it, I'm sure I had a BMW V8 in at one point.
Oh,
someone
yeah,
said,
I thought
and
you did, yeah.
I'm sure I had a JZ in as well.
Oh, wow.
And I feel maybe an RB. I think it's had loads of different things chucked in and out of it.
it's had stuff.
Yeah,
she's been around.
It's been around. It's like it's. I mean, English Heritage should pick it up, to be honest.
it's got a blue plaque on the back.
yeah.
Imagine that.
But yeah, it's had all sorts of stuff. But so when I got it though, yeah, it had,
a blue badge
Circle,
with Bolly
yeah.
swag written on it.
yeah. Well, because yeah, so Max, because he bought it off Vince, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And
yeah.
it had been crashed, and I'd say fixed is a strong word.
He'd done it.
He'd attached things.
He'd straightened some bits.
It was straighter
my
than
favorite,
it
my
after
favorite
it'd
bit
been
was
crashed.
was
the double
the,
box section
the
chassis
sla-
legs.
No, the slam panel, which was made out of what looked like a Klingon fighting blade thing. Do you remember? It was like a stainless steel piece.
Yes, yeah.
Well, it was kind of what food grade stainless from
Yeah.
from ProSeal that was
Yeah,
lying
yeah.
around. Like, oh, let's use all this well expensive materials.
Yeah,
that's
and
used
the
in
key,
the food industry.
switches as well that were worth
The
like,
key switches, yeah. What the fuck was the point?
Like
weren't-
£200 key
There was like
switches.
10 key
Yeah.
switches in Harley's.
two of them were
350.
wired in, and
The rest are just for show. You
Yeah.
just have the light wired in.
And
That's
the porn DVDs,
Yeah.
the porn, and also, and I remember the one of the driver's seat was a plate that was used for heat.
yes,
Transfer
sink.
stuff.
yeah, just a random aluminium plate with a load of holes in
Like
it.
I think he told me that they're worth like £25,000 or something ridiculous.
What?
Like he sells those to people as like or they sell those as
I
like
scrap that.
So no, I think it was scrap.
Oh, right.
He didn't just go, well, that'll be
We'll
great.
have that.
They weren't.
Yeah.
They're not worth that. As in, they don't. You don't.
That's
That's,
what they
that's
sell.
what they sell them for. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what they use them to sell them for.
Yeah, it's only worth.
But it's like
I
I'm
don't
sure
know,
he used to do
Hamill-
things
Hamill
on
something.
like to fuck with people. Like Harley's still convinced there's an ape that hidden in his car somewhere.
Yeah, but-
because the
no,
smell
no, no.
of weed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that
thing.
was it in my car. Fucking stunk
s-
of weed for so long.
I'm sure he hides like an ape somewhere when he sells a car.
The
Has
green.
to.
I
Oh my
I
God,
never
the
found it because
smell.
I stripped everything out.
Yeah,
when
and
I found
Harley's
the cage.
350 is the same.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
smells so
No
bad
matter
of
what you
weed.
do, even now that shell is sat in a field with the windows open. You get in that car.
Yeah, it's
and
got
you
no interior. It smells
Jesus.
of weed. It smells of weed.
That's
It's
the thing,
somewhere
mine-
in there.
Mine was parked. I'd sat at my parents' house for a long time before I really started doing stuff to it and making it better again. And it would just every time I just stink of weed for forever.
No good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. But okay, so
Come back and hotbox it just before you were going
did
to
you
use
ever
it.
do anything with it when it was CA'd?
Yeah, I drove it to. I did Anglesey in it.
You did Anglesey in it when
yeah.
it was CA'd.
Yeah, and the exhaust fell
It was
off.
wrapped, wasn't it? It was wrapped black.
Yeah, it wasn't. There wasn't a lot of black wrap when I got it, but there was a bit, and I kind of peeled that off because I got it.
Wasn't it
kind
brown underneath or something?
It was red.
It was
maroon.
red, and there's all sorts of different bits and bobs on it. But I got it off Max. He reshelled it from. He got like a rusty UK S13, I think, didn't he? And I think that's why I had the CA, and he took that out and put it in the PS.
Oh, there was
shell.
so many engines.
Rebuilt
at
the front
Bolly.
end
There
on
was
it.
so many engines at Bolly. It was probably Ali's old CA when he SR'd it.
Could have
Potentially was actually, yeah. That
But
may
anyway,
have been it.
Yeah, so he did that and kind of made it like a running car. And then I got it, and obviously, I knew it was really sketchy, but at the time I was like, this is the only way I'm going to be able to get one of these because I can't afford to buy one that's
And they're only
any
going to
better.
be more expensive next year, so...
Exactly, so I did that, and I thought, okay, well, I'll see if I can get it running, and I'll do an event and just see...
What falls off?
Yeah, before I start
Everything.
going. Yeah, basically. But, I mean...
Did he sell it with the wing?
No.
Do you remember the
No,
Big
I
Country
didn't.
Labs.
It was the first time anyone had seen a Big Country Labs wing, and it was like, Jesus, this is
And
wild.
it had the mental
Uprights.
end plates.
Yeah.
on
Oh, the
it.
end
Oh
plates,
my
they were
god, they
like
were terrifying.
daggers.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah, so he didn't know I didn't have that on it, and then had this weird like spring hook things to hold the boot lid shut.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of them came out and it lost at some point, and I was trying to get a new latch for the boot for ages, and I remember Giorgio White was always going on about how he's following me at Rockingham and stuff, and then my boot just be going boom boom, just like bouncing around. There was also there was a hole in the top of the fuel tank where he looks like he tried to drill through like
Something.
the boot floor,
Oh my God.
like maybe the maybe the holes where like the cover bolts on or something, like tap it, drill it or something. And I think he just gone all the way through. So for ages, every time I go drifting, I'd have like fuel leaking because
Oh my days.
like the vent,
Yeah.
the vent like this.
The overflow or the return or whatever.
Yeah,
It is.
like the was that the evap
I'm
thing?
acting like there aren't sketchy
So
dumb shit on my car.
I had like a hose coming off that, and then what I worked out was you'd slosh it if you fill the tank up,
Slosh it.
or just at the petrol station you'd fill it up, and then it'd start coming out of that thing, and then it would just siphon itself out, and you'd be there at the forecourt like,
What are you doing? Why have you done this to me?
All over the floor.
and then so there's a photo of I think at Driftland from years ago that I'm on like cords on my tyres and the sparks coming off the tyre.
Oh my God.
And then there's in the same photo there's fuel splashing out of the
Pouring
back of the car.
Jesus.
Jesus.
I remember Adam Jetski did that, didn't he? He left the fuel cap off his NB, and his car actually caught fire.
I did it in the 14 at Driftland as well.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I filled it up at the fuel stop, and I left the fuel cap for the 14 on the boot. And obviously, by the time I got to Driftland, it was gone.
Yeah.
And I only
Remember
realised
Northey
after
as well?
doing I only realised after doing 2 laps, and I was like, I can fucking smell
Yeah,
fuel got
yeah.
out, and the side of the car was just wet out
Yeah.
of the fuel cap. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, so
Narrowly missed.
that's how that car didn't catch fire.
Spooky. Yeah.
Just pure luck, basically. But no. So yeah, so Max, he'd reshelled it and used all the lube and everything, but he sold it to me as a non-runner. Like he couldn't get it to start. I think that's why he'd given up because he'd done that. He'd been fucking about some
He
stuff.
definitely started it. He definitely started
He's a
it.
driver.
Yeah, no, he did actually, but he'd done something which required the loom.
Probably
taken
one of the
off
key
or-
switches.
So it's on the engine loom because what it was, I was looking at it one day. I was like trying to work out what was. I think I was doing something else, but I noticed one of the 3 of the injector plugs were a different colour to the second cylinder.
Were
or
they
something.
all blue?
Something like that.
Were all of the wires blue? Do you remember?
No, but then one of them, and then I was like, why is the plug on the idle air control valve the same as the injector plugs? And there's one of them that isn't, and I
Yeah.
just
Oh
went,
yeah.
And switch them. Yeah.
I was like, boom, fired
Yeah,
up. I was like,
starts.
there we go.
So the idle air control valve has been receiving a single cylinder. Of just,
Yeah.
it's like yep.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Basically, so that was it, and I was like, oh, wicked. Cool.
That's a Nissan fuck up though, isn't it? Like, why would they use the
Why
same
would they-
plug?
yeah,
Well, it
Why would
wasn't.
the plugs
No,
be
it wasn't the
same
same.
place?
It was a different colour. It was like one of those rectangular 2-pin ones. They look very similar, but it's a different colour, and it had like they have like the keyway.
One's red and
Yeah,
one's
it had
black.
one
Yeah,
slight little
Yeah,
thing
one's
on
in the middle,
side.
one's like slightly offset. And
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's Max or someone else. They just literally just gone
Forced it on.
Get in.
on.
so yeah, I did that, and then I did a couple of other things just to try and get it usable, and then went and did angle C, and what I didn't realise as well as the whole because I did the 2 days, and like the whole of the first day, the exhaust bolts were just coming loose, like on the turbine, the downpipe and
Oh, yeah,
everything,
classic.
and and then throughout the day the car was gradually getting louder and louder. So at the point
And
when the
slower
exhaust,
and slower.
Yeah.
well, the point when the exhaust actually fell off, like I didn't realise it come off because it was the same volume it
Sounds
being
like-
designed.
Yeah, sounds like a
It's been
tractor.
building.
And there's like a, I don't know if I've got any more, but there was an old video I made of like GoPro footage and stuff, and on Monster and the marshal comes up and he's like, "Did you lose your exhaust earlier?" I'm like, "No, it wasn't me."
No, mate,
And he's like, he looks at me like,
I don't want it.
"Okay,
I think it is.
So off you go then. I came round and thought nothing of it. And then at the end of the second day, we were loading it back onto the trailer and like stood back. I was like, "It was me." Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah.
I appear to have no exhaust.
And and so the turbo was still on, but the downpipe had come off the turbo and then off the rest of the exhaust. And you know, like there's like a rubber hanger in the middle of the stock downpipe, isn't there?
Yeah.
That was basically holding
Just
it on,
catching it on, yeah.
and it was like, and it was resting on the turbo, so it couldn't have fallen off. And then the rest of the whole thing had come off completely, like a 6 foot,
Yeah,
3 inch
section.
stainless pipe just lying in the track somewhere, and I didn't know. So I was trying to find it at the end of the thing, chatting to marshals, and they're like, "Yeah, well, there was one in the bottom of the
Yeah, I
pit."
saw some bits of scaff pipe
Straight off the turbo.
screwed
Just in
together.
the engine bay.
Yeah, they said there was one in the there's a few lost bits of bumpers and
There's a
all that
lost property.
yeah, with all the bumpers and whatnot down at the
fuck.
pits. I was like, okay, went down there and there was nothing there. So I was like, fuck, oh well. Thought, well, that's gone then. And then, because you could run out the units as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, the garages.
So I was closest to the one at the very end of the pit, so both of those doors were open. Someone else's unit, and just wanted to walk through to shortcut back. And I just saw it leaning up with all their things. They just decided to help themselves to it.
We're having that.
Oh,
So
really?
so they were packing up and stuff, and I just walked in. They looked at me walking in, and watched me walk over to their stuff, and they were thinking, "What the fuck's he doing?" I just picked up the exhaust, and I was like, "Cheers." And then you could see like the guy was like,
Yeah, it's not ours, so.
"Can't really say anything, can I?"
Yeah. Wow, that's really weird.
Yeah. And then I don't know who it was. It's thing is that was ages ago, so it might be someone I
Yeah.
know now. No, I've got no
Yeah.
idea.
Now it's someone I know closely. It's
Yeah,
me.
it could-
They're going to tell you on your deathbed, they're going to go, that was me.
yeah. But because I remember though, you came over and saw it because you were there as well, and you said like, "It sounds amazing."
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds like a fucking tractor.
Sounds fantastic.
They do. This is the problem. I remember going to, in fact, in your car, going to Santa Pod, and we couldn't tell the difference when the exhaust fell off completely. We only knew because we were getting gassed the fuck out.
Yeah, couldn't breathe.
We couldn't, but like we could because it was so fucking loud anyway. There was, it's off the turbo, and then it's straight into the fucking. In fact, in that instance, it was the actual turbo that fallen away from the exhaust manifold, so we could tell because the thing became slower and slower and slower.
No power whatsoever.
But
when
mine actually probably got
sound-wise-
faster.
Yeah, probably got
yeah,
faster.
less restricted. Just exiting into the engine bay.
Yeah.
So then time goes by, and now it's sat here with it has a straight cam SR20.
Yeah.
It has a normal SR20 gearbox.
How
No,
long
it's got a
did you
BMW
wait for
gearbox
your
now.
engine to be built?
I'm not entirely sure because
That long?
Dan kind of looked after that for me, so I didn't really arrange it, so I don't know at what point it started getting built. Or,
Right, yeah, so like
don't-
10 minutes before you got it back, probably. But you had it for about 4 years.
No, I think the building, because he actually put it together. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But I mean, like, I wasn't really in a rush for it, so I wasn't really like, right, here it is.
You're too busy doing
Remember-
good MX5 stuff.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
and it was one of those things. Was like, well, I could have it back, but it's just going to sit on my drive, not
Yeah.
getting finished as well. So
Yeah.
at least it's out of my way, and if something gets done to it, then cool.
This is the thing. What made you? I know, CA, the old CASR argument.
Well,
what
maybe
made you?
SR it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it was
They were
this
cheap at the time.
cheap-ish. I think I paid like $2,000 for my SR.
Whoa, fucking hell.
was that an unopened SR?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was on
my
like,
God.
well, the guy said it was on like 60,000 miles, which I thought, yeah, whatever. But
Whatever.
when
Whatever's, mate.
well, you say that though, but when I got
Even
it,
if it is a lie.
I started putting it into my car, and like it still had the original like turbo gaskets on, like the factory turbo gaskets. Everything like looked really original.
Yeah, but
And then I did like 2 or 3 solid
Consider
years
it's
of.
gonna
I went to I think pretty much every rocking drift day there was
Yeah. When it was CA'd.
when it was SR'd.
Oh, when it was SR'd.
Yeah, and then when Dan had it to rebuild it, he was stripping it down.
Yeah.
He was like, "It looks like it's just been rebuilt." So he said it was in really good nick. So I was just like, "Okay." But yeah.
So what was done to it then? It was.
Well, the original plan was so I did. Well, the CA didn't fully die. It had
where is that CA now?
I sold it to a friend of mine, and I think it sat in his barn for a long time. And then I'm guessing he's either sold it or it's still there. I don't know. But it did. So yeah, it was. I was going to a Dory Fest day weekend. Well, back on his STL.
Yep.
And I drove up, and it kept killing coil packs on the same cylinder, and it was turned out to be the igniter was like basically holding that coil on, and it was just like overheating it or killing it.
Yeah.
And then also there was a dent in the bottom of the fuel tank that had basically pushed the tank up against the bottom of the fuel pump, so the pump was screaming to try and get fuel into the engine.
Oh.
And I changed the fuel pump because I thought it was a bit gammy. Put another one in, it immediately started doing the same thing. And then I realised, like later on down, I was doing something else. Like, oh, that's what that was. And
Jesus Christ!
so I think that's what kind of killed that engine is a combination of those things. Because
you
it
never
lost.
thought of that. See, on a PS, the fuel tank's at the very back.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you do get a bit of a dent in it, you're kind of in a.
It was right under the fuel pump as well, so it just basically
No way.
squished the bottom of the tank up against the bottom of the fuel
I would
sock.
never have thought of that at all, which it sounds obviously, but like, yeah, I would never think. Well, you'd assume that the sock would take in fuel from the top and be fine and happy and stuff. But I guess if it's pushing right up against the pipe, it won't allow it to come in at all.
I think it was basically that and the igniter that was doing stuff. And then because it was that cylinder that lost compression, the one that had the coil issue.
Yeah.
So I already had the SR there, like in the garage for whenever the CA died. Because obviously SRs die all the time now as well. But at the time, SRs were SR. Everyone was like, SRs are better. Get them. CAs always do this. So I was like, cool. So I chucked that in, and then I did loads of events in it, and I think even now, actually looking back, it was probably just the turbo that was smoking rather than the engine. And I did one of the STLs and was watching the GoPro footage back from someone who followed behind me in every gear change, like a bit of oil coming up, puff out the exhaust. I was cool. Did a compression test, and one of the cylinders was slightly lower than the others.
How slightly?
I can't remember now, but enough to make me go, well, that's that then.
That's that then.
Yeah.
Time to go big.
Yeah, but so my thinking was though, like, the engine's still in pretty good shape. I'd rather get it rebuilt now than wait till the fucking crank's spun a bearing and
like proper get ahead of it, because at the point then everyone's starting to kill engines, and you start going, I've got a good one, should I spend a bit of money on it?
Yeah, because then you then you got to try and find a crank, and you got to verify that it's a good crank, not a shit crank, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the original plan was to give it to Dan, and he was just going to do a stock rebuild and just put stock parts in, and then kind of just thought, well, if you're going to do that, then I might as well put some rods in.
Well, the classic, might as well.
But they're almost like cost-wise, there's not a massive amount in it. Like if you go after market stuff, it's not huge.
It might have been Dan that said that. I think he was like, "You sure?" Because it's not much different than.
I think if you scroll through, if you scroll through JDM Garage, you can get full stock OEM stuff, and you can get aftermarket things. And I think there's obviously a lot of there's not enough in it to make a difference.
Actually,
and that's the thing. Like,
and there's certain things that are more expensive.
Well, I didn't want to do that, and then in like a couple of years' time, be like,
do it again.
Now I want power and rebuild an engine that doesn't need building.
It's dumb things like you'll bend a rod for no good fucking reason on a stock. I mean, not all of them. The S15 has stronger pistons and stronger rods, I believe.
Yeah. But that'd be annoying, to do like a stock rebuild and drive it at stock power and still somehow bend a rod, and a bit like this could have been so avoidable.
Much better.
But then things like that would be solved with decent ECUs.
What? I was just about to say, what kind of setup now are you? Turbo injectors, DCU. What do you run? What are you going to run?
Injectors are a Nismo 740s.
Yeah.
And then Link G4 Extreme ECU.
That's the same as what I've done.
Yeah, and then I've done a G25 660 turbo, Walton manifold.
God, that's a good manifold.
Turbo Smart wastegate. What else do you need to know about things? A big fuel pump.
Does it go fast?
400 fuel pump?
Yeah.
Walbro 400?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, Walbro 440 or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Do you remember everyone's like, 260s?
Yeah, 255s. Sorry.
255s. 255s.
Got to do hardwire your 255 pump.
Yeah.
And now it's like
I've got a 255 in my 400 because that's all you need in that. Yeah. But no, it's a 440 in that, and then pon cams, Tommy pon cams. I can't remember what pistons they are. They're forged pistons and rods.
They're fake pistons, not real. Did you go for an overbore? Have you stuck to the same? Have you?
Have to ask Dan. He did that.
If what are they? Stock 86.
It's 86, yeah, 86, and then you can get 86.5,
Yeah,
7.
I think
8.
there might have been a very slight overbore,
Yeah.
and then
Dinner plates.
like extruder head gasket and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Basically, like all the stuff that you've done to yours, because
Yeah, yeah.
Dan did it, and just kind of, I said, just tell me what I need to get, and then JDM Garage was like, here's your bill, and I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Can you deliver it to Dan?
Yeah.
And he'll put it all together, and that's
Yeah.
what happened. So head studs and all that stuff as well.
All that
All
good
the
shit.
good, all the
Have
good
you,
head studs.
have you mapped, driven it, done anything in it yet?
It's mapped, yeah.
I
Mapped by-
remember getting mapped.
Yeah, it's mapped by HP Works.
Yeah.
And because I was doing the wiring, or like started doing the wiring ages ago, and started stripping stuff out. And I was chatting to Northie about like showing him plugs and be like, "What about this one?" He's like,
What's
"Don't
this?
need that. Cut that one off."
Yeah.
Started doing that, and then like I think that was just before all the COVID stuff, and then I just got really busy with the work. Like everything kind of started growing a lot more. So then that kind of sat on the side. When I started trying to get back to it, I was like,
What the
I don't know what the hell I was
Yeah,
doing.
you're like in the
here.
middle of something.
Yeah.
You're like, oh god. I was
Arguably the worst thing to be in the middle of as well, when
Yeah.
you've just got wires everywhere and you can't remember what you've cut out. Or
And even if you've written some shit down, I've done this before. Now you like
You read
come
it,
back
yeah,
to- you're like,
what?
nope.
it might as well just be Spanish.
I'll never forget when I started taking every single wire out of my 14 and I laid them on, the interior loom on my dad's dining room table.
Yeah.
I started like cutting all of the covers, the sheathing, all the wrap off, and I just ended up having 1,000 wires all just sat on the table, and I was like, what in the fuck have
Why
I
did
just
I do
got
this?
in
Why
myself
did I
in?
do this?
Yeah.
Why did I
why
do?
did
And I
An
literally
alarm
just-
cable as well.
Alarm cable, all sorts of shit in there, and I just said I messaged Northie and I was like, I know you've sent me
It's always
everything
Northie.
I
Northie
need
gets you
to
out
do.
of fucking
Yeah.
But
shit.
I said to Northie, I was like, I know you've told me everything I need to do, but I'm in deep and I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And he's like, it's not that bad. He was like, you just need to do this, this, and this. And I was like, I would give you any amount of money for me to send this to you in a box
Yeah.
for you just to do even 50% of a good job. And it came back
it was immaculate.
Yeah.
like
It was immaculate.
Yeah.
a
Was it
full
such
like
a
custom
fucking
lube,
dude.
different fuse box, everything was unbelievable.
It was fucking beautiful.
He originally did my SR loom with a like badge conversion and stuff,
Yeah.
but he did it to do Z32 math and
Yeah.
stuff, because I had a Power FC and a Z32 math, which is what I was going to do. And then that was again waiting for the car to be at the stage to actually need it. And at that point, I was just like, I'll just do it better.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool to have like the little controller and stuff, but
Yeah.
I was just like, when I've spent that much on everything else, I don't
Yeah.
want to grenade my engine, because I could have
Yep.
chosen an ECU, which
You
is
just
going to
spent a
protect
little
it.
bit more
Precisely,
to
yeah.
have the protection
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah. But yeah, Northie did a loom for that. And yeah, same thing. I sent him my haggard piece of shit, and he just sent this like pristine thing
It's
back with everything.
insane.
Just lovely.
Like that is, I mean, my car now has got literally everything that like, my car was a bad fire hazard, and I know you're probably
Yeah.
the same. Like
Yeah.
Nissan wiring is horrific,
Yeah.
even from the factory. And then years and years of probably about 5 or 6 owners modifying it, adding different gauge sets. Like there was
Yeah,
lives.
yeah.
There was like different wiring for different gauges. Someone just unplugged the gauges and just stuffed the wiring in.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
still live.
Yeah.
And they
there's
just teed lives off everywhere else.
Yeah, I do
random
remember
fuse holes
shit
just soldered in.
melted.
You're like,
Shit,
I don't know
all of the radio wiring was all live and was melted together
Yeah.
in one ball of shit. And when I took it out and it was hot, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Well, the thing in mine, it was like
Gets through batteries quick. This car.
Just a
Well,
bit.
I'm amazed mine even ran, to be fair, because it was such a state, and it was one of those I go to do something, look at it, go, actually,
Yeah.
it works. I'm not.
That's
gonna
kind of where I
get
was at.
involved
I was
with
like, let's just wrap duct tape around it, which is inevitably the worst thing because it's got charge going through it. It's just becoming hotter and hotter and
it. You should
hotter.
have stuck a
bad
copper bar in the middle of it.
Yeah, or just put your phone on it to
Yeah,
charge.
just- a QI charger.
But yeah, that was pretty bad. And then, like I said, I started stripping it all down, and then just didn't know where I was. So I needed to find another loom and a thing, and it was really hard to find the right loom. I bought a couple that were like a 180 Type X loom, but there was too many
Yeah,
different,
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
too many
Small
different things.
differences, yeah.
So many
that was just
variations.
and ended up, Joey Bratton was, he's like, oh, I know a guy. And he's like, you put me in touch with this dude in Ukraine who was like, yeah, I'm just breaking a car for spares, like, while my country's being invaded by the Russians, and I'll sort you out first. That was sort me like a almost untouched interior and no, body and bay loom, like not the engine loom, but the the bay loom and stuff, and all the lights and all that kind of stuff. So I paid him, and it wasn't even that expensive. I forgot what it was, but and then he was like, "Oh, if you get charged any customs fees, let me know and I'll cover it." And I was just like, "Dude, I don't mind. Like you've got things going on.
Yeah, you've got stuff going on.
Yeah,
Jesus
like
Christ.
yeah, you probably I'm happy to pay that fee. Like you might need money for like essential supplies. So
ammo.
Fuck me, yeah. Ammo, yeah, Christ.
But yeah, he was great and really, really helpful and really nice dude. So shout out to Yuri. I'm not even going to try and say his surname, but yeah, good dude.
Yuri.
But yeah, so I got that and then sent it to Phil Randall at XDR because everyone just kept recommending him and saying how good he was. And yeah, he was great. Really lived up to the hype. Like just delivered him the car.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I was asking him questions like, what should I do here? And he's like, just put all of the things where you want them to be and I'll connect them. And I was just like, cool. So I did that. And I had a 100NX digital dash that I was trying to put in.
Sick.
And he was
Is he done that?
No, because he was testing it and he got everything working, so he got all like the backlights and everything except for the LCDs. So I need to try and find somewhere who can like either test or repair them. Because he wasn't sure if he just wasn't testing it right.
There's dudes in America that and in fact on the forums that are now disappeared because of course. But I remember seeing like huge threads on those.
Yeah.
I love those fucking dashes. They're great. It just looks like an S30. Why didn't any of the S13s get a dash as cool as that? I don't know.
One of us
So
still, every
stupid.
single time I think about the NX, the 100NX, I always think you need to buy one because 300, 200, 100,
Yeah,
and it'd be
There's
unbelievable.
there is a 100NX space here.
But then I always then
They are
immediately forget about them because
they
they're
look
just
stupid.
They're so ugly.
They're just shit.
Well,
What were they thinking?
I joined a few like groups on Facebook to try and find like info about the gauges and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's people posting photos of these cars and they're like, I'm just like, what the fuck is that? It's so
grossest car in
it's
the world.
so crap. But,
It's like the headlight, like the front bumper goes around the headlights.
yeah, it's really
It's
but
so ugly.
yeah. So I've got that anyway, and he was testing it, trying to get the LCDs to light everything else, all the backlights, all the stuff. And he was like, I don't know if I'm, if you need different equipment to power it up or whatever, because I think he's using like a power probe or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whether they're broken. So I still got them, and I've got like the plugs and everything. So I need to try and find someone who can test them properly. And it was one of those things you have a brief look on Google, and then you don't immediately find the answer. I'm like, bored.
Bored.
I've got too many.
Also, the existing clocks work. So
yeah. Well, say that. Well, they work, but then recently the RPMs in my MX-5 has stopped working.
Oh, okay.
They just
Has it stopped working?
£11,000.
Wait, what? That's on.
NX.
Is that on eBay?
That's on eBay.
So you can buy
Awful.
a 100NX right now for 11,000.
It's only done 5,754.
what's the
Assumingly, the owner never wanted to be seen in it.
You imagine buying the car, driving it for 5,000 miles, and going,
This is fucking gross.
"Oh my god, I need to."
People
park
can
this
see
up."
me.
I can't even. I don't even want to put it on eBay or anything because then people will know that.
No, I own it.
Yeah. create another eBay just to sell it.
A fake eBay.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm a bit shady about this. I'm not too keen on this. Why have you got no feedback?
Oh yeah, and then there's like ones for like 1,900 quid.
Show me.
1,400.
Well, they did
quid.
do like a special version of them.
You see,
Look at the 300 T-tops.
Well, the point
there.
is, they almost look exactly like 300
I think
T-tops.
they-
Probably
The thing is,
are.
if you're in the market for this, you're buying a Toyota Sarah. Because
Yeah,
it's the same
100%,
car, except
yeah.
that you've got cool doors.
Yeah,
Tool doors.
Cool doors on a Sarah.
they're not Gullwing. They come out, don't they, with the
Toyota.
roof?
They
or
do
something?
this.
Oh yeah, they
They
come
do.
out the
Toyota
front,
Becky.
yeah. They're a
Sarah.
Lambo.
Is it Sarah? S-A-R-A.
I know exactly what you mean though.
Well, anyway.
It's got an import front plate on that as well.
Well, it may be an import.
No, it's not because it's got UK rear plate.
Oh, God,
Look at that
Jesus
look.
Christ. Oh, look at that. Look at its eyes.
The headlight beam was just like
Do
a
you know what it
spotlight.
needed? They needed to be
Just
sidelights and it needed
awful.
pop-ups, didn't it?
Probably,
It needed pop-ups to make it look
Yeah, but
right.
I think the problem is that it
It's
doesn't
fucking
work.
gross.
It just looks ugly as shit.
£2,000 for that.
But yes, so Phil wired it all up.
Yep.
Did a really good job of that.
Got it good.
Yeah, and he's good. He like sent me loads of photos.
that
like,
Nissan Micro
you're
is
right with this?
shocked.
He's like, you're right with this? You happy with that? Then not like some places you get it and they just do what they want.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they're like, this is it, and you got to pay the
Yeah,
bill. He was
yeah.
like, do you mind if I do this or that? And yeah, it's really good.
A shout out
so-
to him.
yeah.
It sounds like I would go to him.
Yeah.
Especially, does he keep you up to date with what's happening bill wise as well?
I think he did.
Here's
yeah.
me taking the piss. Sorry to cut you off. Here's me taking the piss out of this Nissan Micra. It's a Tommy Chiara.
I still hate it.
I still hate it, but
Why
like
is
from
it-
the back,
why is
pretty
it-
cool.
Oh, it's a.
Look at the seats.
Oh, Okay.
Tom, whatever that is. That's
Is
the butcher that.
$9,000 for a Nissan Micra.
Isn't that weird?
Look at the plate. Look at the serial number and shit. TK.
Completed by Tomita. Snowflakes are dancing.
Wow.
Right.
I'm actually interested in that.
Right. Cool.
Cusco.
Trying to avoid segues that we can't show anyone and silent like, oh, look at this.
It's in Coventry.
People would be
Yeah, but the thing is, you'd show people watching and they'd go, wow.
cool. Cool.
Anyway.
So at this point in time now, do you have a drivable, working, usable PS?
Nearly.
Nearly.
I could have, but I'm redoing stuff that I know I'm going to want to redo.
There was a lot to redo there, to be fair.
And
the thing
because
is, it is worth it in the end because these vehicles are increasing in price exponentially. So it's like, you may as fucking well. I hate it when people go, oh, you may as well. Cause
Yeah.
well, actually, if the idea is to just get out and have some fun, then. But the problem is, if it's the amount of fun that you can have before dumb things break and you end up not
that
being
you
able
could
to
have
do the
just
thing that you want to
remedied
do.
before you
Exactly.
started doing all that. Like
Exactly.
HP Works mapped it, and it's about 450 horsepower.
Yeah.
Um,
That SR gearbox is absolutely sweating.
well, no, it's not SR box.
Just with you thinking about
Anymore.
that. Is it not?
No.
It's a 33.
BMW.
Oh, okay.
I'm currently still in the process of finishing the swap, but it's like mounted and everything, and
New clutch and things
yeah.
to do with that as well.
I
New shifter.
shall get to that briefly.
See, we're doing it again. Look at this. So that's an S13 for 1,200 for £1,000.
It's bidding. 16 people are bidding on it. It's currently on 1,000.
People are
But
bidding on this
imagine-
gold. Look at the.
Imagine
Take a
how
screen-
much
take
rust.
take a screenshot of that and then add 2 hours 37 because that is an incredible hole. I ain't never seen a hole like that. In it.
Around
and also,
the boot.
Can you imagine selling a car and
Look
going?
at the interior. It's green with mould, but it's like pond green. It's
Some
algae.
Yeah. Well, some will still buy it, won't they?
That's how wet
Anyway,
the interior
get off eBay.
is. Sorry.
Get off eBay. What seats are those? Are those
They're
32
sto-
seats?
no, they're stock
Yeah,
13
they're stock
seats.
seats. Get off eBay. So you've changed more things. Has it been painted?
Not yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, I painted it obviously before.
Yeah.
And
You
then-
painted black
yeah, well, Freddie
painted
painted it,
black, yeah.
and then
when everyone was painting
Cars
PSs
black.
he painted black. And then I did change the doors and I fitted an aero bumper.
You changed the doors because what we've neglected to mention here at any point is that it had super cool Lambo doors.
Lambo
Yeah, they were the
doors.
worst thing ever. Hated it.
The Lambo pistons were off something small and not very heavy, which meant the doors were like this.
lift
Yeah.
them up.
You sort of had to lift the doors up and then they'd just fall down.
Yeah.
and they would open about this much.
Yeah.
So you had no choice but to
Thing
go
is, yeah,
up
they
and up.
didn't open wide enough, but they also didn't go up far enough either. So
Just what you want from Lambo
this
doors.
is before I
Made it so difficult to get
See,
inside.
the thing is, because yours was like that, mine, when buying those, Max was like, "Oh, well, the problem with these is they're not good enough to, they're not heavy, they're not good enough to carry the weight of the door." So I was like, "Oh, I need a car that has big, heavy fucking doors." So that's why I bought the Celica.
you can
doors.
buy new struts for them, like
Okay,
stiffer
yeah.
struts, because I did when one of them went and I bought a new one. So then I think,
The other one ripped off. It went.
yeah, and then I fitted it and it was all me. I wasn't ready for that. I was so used to having to lift it myself. But I did a drift taxis day at Brands Hatch, like an American car show thing.
Oh yeah.
And I told them, like, because you don't go out of the car, they just
Yeah,
put the passengers
they're
in.
putting.
Oh,
them in.
good
And I was
God.
like,
Oh,
right, if you
good
just let
God.
it down, just lift it up and get it onto the latch, and then just
Then push.
Oh,
then push
good
it
God.
shut, and they'd come and get someone in. They go
Dong,
bang,
dong, dong,
bouncing off,
dong,
and there's actually
dong,
dents
dong.
like in the inside of the door above,
Oh, yeah, mine,
above the latch.
Yeah, exactly. On both sides of mine, in fact, especially on the passenger side, for exactly that reason, there are so many dents above the latch, like hench
Should
dents.
just fit normal doors for me.
And there was,
I love it. I love
there
it.
was,
It's
like
cool.
there was like a cut in the wing about here from where the hinge thing
exactly
catch.
where-
Oh, you should see
Alex
my
is
fucking
on.
on the 14. There's like they're just frayed,
Yeah.
completely frayed
The door
pieces of
rubs
shit.
against the
Yeah.
fiberglass.
So there was stuff like that, but then I just had a full day of people doing that to me because they were trying to get people in and out as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And I did so many laps that day, like I might have just about paid for my tyres.
Yeah.
I did that many. It was a fun day. It was like a cool experience, but
Yeah.
like it was funny because I think a lot of people were looking at my car, and from the outside of that's when it was all black and it looked all right.
Yeah,
so they were
looked
seeing
great.
this cool car doing loads of laps and like doors going up, and then they'd get in and be like,
this is fucked.
What the hell?
This roll cage looks like toilet paper holders.
Yeah. And then there was
Should there be ripples in this cage?
and there was some kid. There's some kid that sat and they didn't have a helmet small enough for him. And then so he had like an adult helmet and it was just like rolling around on his head and stuff like. And I had a GoPro video of that, and it was he was loving it, and he couldn't even see over the door or anything like that. But he was just like, "Woo, it's great."
Do you remember at Rockingham the paddock day, the one I took my mum to? It's the last time I ever drove the 14, and my mum's never been in my drift car. And you went, "Let me give your mum a GoPro to hold it in front of her face," because it's the first time she'd ever been in the car, and it was the most unenthusiastic passenger ride ever. This is my mum just.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And I even like all day it was like dead close to the wall, and I thought I'm gonna push it really far now because this is like the last run of the day when my mum in the car, like smashed the rear quarter into the wall, and my mum's just like, "Did we hit the wall?"
Why did you do that?
Were we meant to do that? Why'd you do that, you fucking idiot?
I'm like, I went to you and I was like, that's gonna be the shittest video. That's probably why you don't remember it.
Yeah,
You're just
I
like,
probably just
nothing.
Deleted it.
Yeah,
Crap.
delete. Just my mum's face like this.
But yeah, I did this.
Was that the wall?
I put this video up of this kid on Facebook just to be like, look how much fun he's having, and then it might have been, was it Johan? I don't think it was Johan. It was one of the dudes who like ran the
PH drift
thingy. Yeah, the day anyway.
Yeah.
And then they would message me and they're like, love the video, but can you take it down? Because obviously we don't look very good if we've not got like proper safety equipment.
That child has not got a helmet
yeah,
on.
like
Well, he's got a helmet
He
on.
might have as well have a bucket
it's
on
like
his
there's
head.
a bit where the chin bit that would fit here was like just in front of his eyes, and he was just like
Loving his life
keep
though.
drifting fun.
yeah, it was great. And I was doing like, it was a small little like kidney kind of thing, and obviously just like second gear like all day. So like my temp needle was like up the entire time.
Yeah.
And then you'd come in and pull, and you're like, right, change to let cool down. Like, can you get someone else in? I'm like, no, I'm gonna fucking blow my engine in a minute. And they're like,
Hot
they
laps.
come back like 5 minutes later. Can you take someone? I was like, no.
No, I mean, yes, I can. You're paying for a car at
Yeah.
this point.
We need an engine, bro.
Yeah.
But no, that was a really good day though, because in the end we finished a bit early, and there's still like an hour left of the show, and then so we just went, sat on the grass, and just watched loads of cool American race cars just hammering down the track in the sun, and we just sat outside with like sipping like a beer, and just it was really nice, lovely day. But yeah, that was the taxis were pretty hectic on the car.
Yeah, well, yeah, they. I remember Buxton taxis being pretty, but then we always did them on wet days, which was nice because then they kind of really got particularly hot, and you could just go out endless. Tires didn't need changing. You just chuck people in and out, and you could do. You got. I think we got paid a tenner per. Yeah, that's it. We got paid a tenner per person, who we had in, and we must have had like at the end of the day between me, Gutty, and I think Bal was there. We'd had like. Felt like probably 40 people each in the car, and I remember thinking, this is amazing. Do this every single day. This would be brilliant.
Do you remember we did passenger laps at Next Level?
Oh yeah.
And we just refused to come in. They were like, go out for 3 laps.
Yeah.
Bring the person back. We'll switch them. And I was like, I'm not coming back in, man. It took me forever to get out in the queue.
Yeah, that was the thing. They have you go out. And then you go, sick, sick, and then they like come in, and then you look at the queue, and you're like, oh, I'm not getting back out again for another fucking half an hour.
You don't mind staying here for the rest of this
Yeah.
And then
set
they'd
of
be like,
tyres?
no, that's great.
Yeah, please do continue. We'll just
going.
keep quiet. Let's keep going.
Give me an extra 10 or I'll pelt a photographer.
Well,
Punt a photography to space. You know that? It's terrible. It's not funny. It's not funny. The guy nearly died. It's not funny.
Are we
It's
allowed
terrible.
to talk about that yet?
I don't know. Was he
I mean,
alright?
it's been 4 years.
Was he okay?
Yeah.
He didn't die.
He looked like he was going to die when I got out of the car.
I mean, he's just been hit by a E36.
Yeah.
E36.
Because
Yeeted.
I only recently told you two that I was in the car, didn't I?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't know.
I
We
had
didn't
no
know.
idea.
We knew about
No
him. I didn't-
clue.
Well, you headbutted him, didn't you?
Nearly. I
You
felt like I was
full-on-
going to. Yeah, because I was on the.
Intentionally.
I was on obviously his left-hand drive car.
Yeah, yeah.
Here he comes.
So we kind of went onto the grass that way, span across, did like a 180 across the grass, and then I remember as we were spinning, thinking, "I'm sure there's a photographer stood over there somewhere." Looked over my shoulder, and it was literally about to come through the window, facing away from the car, because he was all the
Man.
noise, all
I
the
get
noise of him taking
shivers, man.
photos the other way. He didn't know.
Oh my
That's
god.
probably why he was all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah, because
looked
he'd have been completely limp as he was hit
Relaxed.
by this
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, just what?
and I was completely limp as well.
I would have been
I'm
hard.
completely lit.
But no, I looked looked out the window and saw him about to come through the window, and I just went.
Oh,
So I thought he
God.
was just going to come through the window, and
A bag of bits in the
Yeah.
car with you.
and
Yeah,
and then,
you
so
could
he
have
hit-
had his camera.
Well, he hit the rear quarter, and then he went over the roof, and then he cracked the
Jesus.
windscreen with something, or some part of him cracked the windscreen. And then we stopped and got out, and he was just lying on the floor, gasping for air, with his eyes rolled back at his head. And I just stood there,
Jesus.
I was like, I don't know what to do.
I think I would have. I think I would have just drove away. I think I would have just. No, not
Wasn't me.
No, if I
That's
was there
horrendous.
watching that, I would have just
if
gone.
we're ever in
No.
a situation
in
where
front of a massive crowd of people.
you look there, arms by your side on your hips like that, just looking at him like that.
Drove away.
You're fucked, mate. Goodbye.
But, yeah,
oh, you're
I
looking for empathy. No, I do not possess any apathy.
Yeah.
Well, we did I done
tried.
a first aid course like a few weeks before.
10 minutes prior.
No, like literally like 2 weeks before we went away, and I was like,
that's
we
handy.
didn't really cover this.
Imagine
But
imagine you did. Imagine you would start doing chest compressions and there was just mush
Oh god!
compressions.
Oh
All the
god!
way
There was no resistance.
You're thinking, I did this too. It's staying alive. That's it. That's
Staying
it.
alive,
First was
staying
afraid.
I was petrified. Well, it's just one compression
office
first.
Yeah, exactly. and yeah, now you're just blood soup.
Just
But-
mush.
The dude he'd come from Italy by himself.
Oh, God.
As well, and
So he had no one
was
to take his
entirely on his
broken
own.
body home.
Yeah, and then he,
Oh my
and when
God.
he was in hospital,
How
he
does
changes.
hospital work with that?
It's European. You get your
Yeah.
European
don't.
health insurance.
We'd be
We did
fucked.
at the time.
Oh.
So, yeah. But no, while he was in hospital, he changed his Instagram bio to aerial photographer.
Fantastic.
So we knew he was all right.
Yeah, he was like making jokes.
Jesus Christ!
But he took a photo as well, like as he was being hit. There's like a blurry photo. Like you can kind of make out a bit of grass in it. Yeah. Tough dude. Didn't even break any bones.
I really need the next level dudes to
Yeah,
post
next
something
level. Next level would
publicly.
be great to have happen. We have this slight concern, which may or may not become completely rectified, but just doesn't seem to be.
So it's been 15 weeks since they posted the teaser video to say it's happening on the 22nd and the 23rd of July. I've been speaking to one of the organisers and been like, "This is sick. Can't wait to come back. It's been 5 years since we've been there. We are ready.
We've had some time off. We're ready to do some
AF.
stuff.
Going to be sick. We're going to book ferries tonight.
Yeah.
But we've kind of because I mean the problem is like the ferries are like 800 quid.
Yeah.
And there's no option for refunds. So it's like you pay your
we're
800 quid.
paying that.
Yeah, you
We-
pay 800 quid and you each,
Yeah.
and then they change the date or move anything. That's 800 quid gone.
Do you reckon P&O will sponsor Lower Origin?
I fucking wish.
Get in contact.
So it's like, and it's 12 weeks to the event. It's 15 weeks since they put it out there. We're now in the middle. We're not even in the middle. We're past that. It's 12 weeks to the event.
Yep.
And there has not been another bit of information about it.
Nothing really.
And it's a bit worrying. Not worrying that we don't think it's going to go ahead, but it's not leaving much time for us to arrange things.
I'm panicking.
Yeah, but I'm shitting pants over it.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my job.
Oh, fucking nonce. But it's concerning because that potentially is going to be like the flagship event of Dirt Year.
Yeah.
Like what I really want to do.
I know.
I'm going to message Philip.
I'd like to do it, but until you asked me about it earlier, I'd forgotten about it.
But it's because he's not posted anything
Yeah.
about
It's
it.
because there's not really been anything happening about it.
That would be something that would motivate me to get my PS done quicker.
Is to do that.
There we go.
You fucking wouldn't though.
I would.
You take the NC.
You'd take the fucking NC because you've got. Oh, actually, I want to go in a vehicle that's really reliable. It's
Nah,
nice and easy.
I'd
Just jump in
take
and
the-
go.
You could drive the NC there
Probably could, yeah.
and drift it and drive it home.
But provided I didn't crash into
Which is your
anyone.
which is your favourite vehicle?
At the moment, well, it depends. Like
No,
favourite
out of form.
Favourite to drive is the NC. But obviously, I haven't driven the Nissan for years, and it's going to be very different to how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fast.
Probably would be quite a lot of fun.
Favourite to look at is probably the NA at the moment because it's the only one that's
Yeah,
actually
I think
painted.
the NA looks
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
It's fucking well.
It does. The NA. I mean, we'll potentially put the video up there before, but like it's got some real good features on there. It's got your kit.
Yeah.
It's got your bonnet.
Yeah.
It's got
The
some
wing.
KFs.
What's the wing that's on it?
The wing is his. I'm pretty sure that's your wing.
No, it's a trap.
Trap house.
Yeah, trap wing. It's like a Hakasuka style.
Yeah,
thing.
it's nice. It's
Yeah, it
real
looks
nice.
really cool.
Like no end plates, just like a flat deck, kind of with a slight upsweep. It's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
gangster.
Yeah. It's red, which is the
Fast.
most colourful thing in Dan and Does Destroy or
fastest.
Dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fastest colour we all know.
It has a turbo.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
C16. Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
say no.
Yeah. So it's a standard 1.6 engine with a. It's the turbo off my SR actually, the original turbo.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Am I going to say a short nose crank, a long nose crank? Is it the good one?
I think
is
it's
it?
a long nose.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I don't know what that means. I just remember that from
It's-
MX5 things.
It's been a while since I knew actually, but the short nose has 4 slots in the pulley, and the
Okay.
the long nose has 8. That's how you tell the difference. And I think the short nose ones they were known to have the keyway and the crank would wear, and then the pulley would go wobbly and
Right. So
potentially-
is the long nose the one you want?
yeah,
Not the short.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah, but I think there were probably other differences. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the length might be slightly different.
Is yours a stock engine 1.6? It's in
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, stock engine.
'Cause I know-
1.6 RX8 injectors because they just fit in and you
Yeah.
plug in and just
Yeah,
work.
which is nice.
Yeah,
Because Tom's got a forged 1.6, hasn't he?
Forge 1.8.
1.8. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not a lot different to the 1.6 if you in terms of like work to do.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, it's not really that much difference to what you do to an SR really. It's
Same,
you know,
same,
it's
yeah.
same,
inline
same.
4-cylinder turbo kind of jobby, but
Same.
it's probably actually no, because he's done a BMW gearbox now as well. So in terms of, I was going to say
Reliability,
except for changing a gearbox, it's
And a
Yeah,
clutch.
The same.
it's pretty much
And a diff.
Yes, he's done a Cadillac diff in it. But,
Cadillac diff?
Yeah,
As you do, Cadillac diff.
That's shocking.
well, like cough order.
No, the diff. Like you were like,
Yeah, yeah. No, the oh dear, that list.
Cough cast.
The
That Listerine is really fucking with you.
I think it's because it's an American kit, so there's loads of them. It's a Cadillac CTS diff. So in
Okay.
America, there's tons of them.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's probably the one they found out, like the ratios and whatever worked for what they were trying to design and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then it's got a custom shaft to convert.
shaft.
Nice shaft.
And a
So
custom
does
prop.
that still? Or is it on the power? Is it still on a power brace? Or,
No.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
no,
So
you
does
see-
the kit come with like a subframe or something?
Comes
that it-
with a gearbox mount that you bolt in and kind of weld in, and then
Yeah.
there's a diff thing where it's got like a adapter thing for the rear mount, and then for the nose of the diff, it's got like a tab that you weld onto the subframe. And
Oh,
bolt it
okay.
up.
Right.
It's
So it's
pretty.
essentially,
There's a little bit of fab involved, but it's
Yeah.
very simple because it's. Well, so this is the thing we're supposed to do a video because it's from Kmart that do all the K-swap stuff.
yeah.
And then we spoke to them and they sent the kit, and we're supposed to do like videos of reviewing it and talking about it and all this kind of stuff, but then obviously all the COVID stuff happens, all the events
Yeah.
got
So I
stopped,
got fucking
and then
bend off.
and then Tom's dad passed away, and he was really busy dealing with all that kind of stuff as well, and just loads of stuff kind of happened that we never really got to really talk about the kit as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, from now doing my BMW swap,
Yeah.
like, the guys I got through Gear Motive, who do like BMW gear sets and
Yeah.
custom forged gear sets and stuff. So they don't actually do the kit. I've got a Adamat adapter plate, and some other stuff. But I've kind of had to put mine together a lot, and so like no shade on any of the people who've supplied the bits that I've got, but Tom got his from Kmart, like all of it just in a kit. All of it just goes
Went together perfect.
straight on.
Yeah.
The only hiccup that he had was with the guy who he got the gearbox off in the UK from a breaker. Just told him it was off the car that he wanted, and it wasn't.
Oh,
So he
So
That
it didn't
happens.
just bolt straight
That
on.
no.
happens.
Well, it bolted on, but the trouble is because the BMW boxes are weird. Some of them sit at different angles. He needed one off like a E34 like
Very
petrol
specific
one,
model.
and they sent him one off like a diesel one or something.
Right.
oh.
The
So
orientation slightly different
yeah.
for mounts and things.
So it does fit on, but yeah, it's not in the right place. And but the way that the MX-5 engine is designed, where the starter is, you have to cut a bit out of the bell housing to make a relief cut for the starter, basically. So he'd already done that, and then found it didn't fit, and then so the guy was like, "Well, I'm not having it back. You've cut a hole in it." So he's like, "Yeah, but then Tom's like, but you told me it was the one." I
Yeah.
asked
You
for."
have lied.
Again, this is going back to like right at the start of this podcast. Is like
Yeah.
this is the kind of thing you get into when you start doing this stuff with this car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
not
you
much
got to
different.
find that shit out.
Yeah. So, but so from doing, I'm getting through mine. I've made the trans mount and the shifter linkage and all that kind of stuff. But from what I've had to do to this and figure little bits and bobs out compared to what Kmart kit did as a whole, it's just on straight away.
Probably just go
Yeah.
for the kit.
Yeah, so I would recommend that. So shout out to Kmart for that. It's long overdue, but yeah, we did say that we'd try and do that as well. So I can definitely recommend their stuff. It just made everything. It's already all figured out.
Significantly easier.
I feel like if I ever blow the 350 box up in mine, I want to do that 8-speed,
8-speed.
8 HP thing.
the 8 HP BMW box that's like a sequentially shifted auto that you can just put it in D and then you can just do like wrapping gears off. It's like poor man's sequential.
There's a dude in the UK who's called Lawrence Lindsay Dean, I think his name is. I think it's Core Law on Instagram. You know the videos that Driftworks did with Craig's NC that he was building, and then he later got rid of it and did a RX-8.
Oh yeah.
One they're doing now.
Yeah.
He had the engine off that guy, and he had like some mad built turbo 2.5 in it, and now he's got a K swap in it, which is like something 500 something horsepower. It's pretty. It's probably possibly more. I can't remember. But he's got the HP swap in that, and it's apparently just crazy. Like
they come in so many cars as well. They're like really, really common gearbox. Apparently,
Really?
like they're available in a lot of stuff, a lot of things.
Yeah, but I bet that. I mean,
And they are by comparison cheap until people start realising the kits and stuff to put them in are
Well, that's the
obviously
thing.
expensive.
I imagine there's like a huge amount of controller and bang 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 stuff that you need to.
I think there's a
Yeah, as
gearbox
well.
controller and that one gearbox module that controls it, and it's just a case of putting it in D or manual, and then that's it. Off you go.
would be pretty good. Yeah.
I feel like that's probably the way I'd go. Or if I got like another GS, or
It just
I wanted
needs
a
to be
Risto,
something
but
strong. It just needs to be something fucking strong.
but like they're out of the box, they will be strong as fuck because the BMW boxes are well over.
but everything says that it's going to be strong.
I
remember-
got the same. So I got the same gearbox as Tom because his car has 450 horsepower.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
It
the same
makes
as mine.
sense.
And I just went, "What's the part number? I'll get one of them."
Same.
Yeah.
And there are loads of different ratios you can get, and some of them are better, and some of them aren't. And like I think the diesel boxes are stronger, but they've got crapper ratios and stuff.
Yeah.
So the reason I went through Gear Motive is because they do the gear set. So I was like, well, if I don't like it, I can get a gear set off them and customize it to what I want. Because it'd be quite cool to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like a real long fifth for cruising, because it's going to be like a street car. But I'll drive it for a bit and see.
Just like rap.
That one time until you need fifth for doing something stupid. And you're like,
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how I get on, because it might be fine as it is, and I might end up changing the diff though, because I've got Nismo two-way in it that I've had for ages, and I'd never really used it properly.
what ratio though?
It's a 4.1 at the moment.
That's a good diff.
Yeah, because
That's a good. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what. I got 4.3 Nismo
I'm
2.1.
4-1.
I got a Nismo 2.8 GT diff.
Well,
which
that was-
I still don't know what the fuck.
I had
difference is,
a
to be
4.3, and Jan built the 4.3 up for me when I was going to do the stock power thing, and then I can't remember what happened now. I basically decided to change it again and had Martin rebuild it again in a 4.1, and then now I've gone BMW box. It's like, probably going to need to change it again, because BMW boxes are really long
Yeah,
ratios, because
they
their
are
diffs are short.
See, I don't know which.
Yeah.
Well, the diffs are technically longer. They're all 3s, aren't they? Whereas the short ratio diffs are all 4s.
Yeah, so I think the boxes are short and the diffs are long.
That's
I
it.
think.
Yeah,
Right.
And maybe that's where they develop their strength from. You know, if they physically
Maybe, yeah.
make a lot of sense. Because like that 4.6 that Dan's got, it's just like like thousands of tiny little teeth. It's that diff is the short. A 4.6 is it's not the shortest, because there's a 4.9 that exists, but nobody fucking wants the cunt. But a 4.6
Isn't that a Serena front diff or something
no fucking
stupid?
clue.
It's something really
It's
random.
an R200 diff out of something ridiculous.
Yeah,
but,
it's a Serena van,
yeah.
I think. They've
Yeah.
got a front diff.
Yeah.
or something like that.
Well, that's what I've got in my... I haven't got it in my mouse. I've got one to build. There was a Kia Sportage front ring and pinion.
Yeah.
But I have a front diff from an old Sportage, and you can put them in a
And you
MX-5.
Why that
ring and
fucking
pinion out of
fits,
it's
I
amazing,
don't know.
isn't
But
it?
this is the thing. So but then you've got lots of little teeth. Lots of little teeth.
Little teeth
being
to
driven
break
by
off.
something strong,
Rap.
big.
Yeah.
You know, it just
Yeah.
seems.
Shave them clean off.
It just it reduces the load on it, doesn't it?
It all just comes down to a well-meshed fucking or well-built diff, really, doesn't it? It does.
Kind
At the
of.
end
Well,
of the day.
it's like you know, when you're riding a bike. Though, if you have it in a real low gear, you're pedaling like mad, but
No,
it doesn't take much effort.
No, I know. But I'm just thinking about the strength of the teeth and the engagement. Like, have you got more teeth engaged to displace?
You technically have more
torque
teeth
that's being
because
applied through the
you've-
diff.
more teeth that are smaller because you'll have more on the pinion, more on
Yeah.
the wheel, but then
Yeah,
you'll have less,
diff,
but
a longer diff would be
less, but bigger.
bigger teeth
Yeah.
that were long that were less of them.
I don't know what's stronger. Essentially, in my
Big
head,
strong
it's the
teeth
same.
or many small
I know
teeth.
what I think, but I don't want to say anything because I'd probably just say something wrong and sound like a fucking idiot. So
Hey, this is
keep
the
to
Law
myself.
Origin podcast. This is the whole
We
idea.
are.
This is what we do. We say things that
We
are
just make
completely wrong,
complete
and then the
assumptions.
comments are like, you guys are stupid.
Yeah, but
And
you
we're
won't
like, yeah.
have people going,
Yeah, we know.
I'm not going to buy your parts. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, safe bet is to just say, yeah, I don't know, probably Google it.
Yeah, but you don't sell diffs, so you're fine.
It's a secret. It's a secret.
Yeah, if you were selling diffs and shit,
You should probably
then-
know.
Hey, talking of which, let's do some questions for Dan Pryor.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do damn prior
If there are any, we actually haven't. Do we know if we have any? How many hours was it since we asked the question?
Well,
Questions for Dan Pryor. Why have you destroyed and died?
Destroy or done? Oh, why? I don't want to. I don't want to ask a question. I want to.
couldn't actually tell you at this point.
How do you feel about the American company called Destroy? And do you ever want to talk about that publicly on a podcast?
I don't feel anything about him really. I think it's.
You've got their name written on your full time.
I don't know. Are they still going? I haven't seen anything from them for a while.
Yeah. If I try and tag you in something, they come up first.
Really? No. I mean, people have tagged us in each other's posts accidentally a few times.
Why do female dogs find you irresistible?
Just something about the way I smell, I suppose.
You just got shagged by Alex's dog before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big shag.
Any plans for another styled body kit for the Mark 1 MX-5?
I'd like to. It's just another one of them things.
More
Time-wise,
project time.
time-wise and space. Yeah, we started.
Time and space, lots of
Yeah.
yeah.
Stephen Hawking.
We did the scan of the NC thing.
Yeah.
And designed like a skirt for that and 3D printed that into sections. And the next step was going to make that into a proper thing. But Aaron, who was doing that, now works at a game design thing. Got like headhunted to do arguably a much better job and for more money and stuff.
Yeah,
So
then make
we
it
kind of dabbled in that, but like so he's off doing a better thing. So hence why I'm got a new guy starting on Monday. But yeah, so we kind of started.
Briefly, I thought you said you guys. I was going to say, when the fuck did I agree to work? Even though I've asked numerous
you did
times.
Ask,
Yeah.
You did
Yeah,
ask.
so-
I would 100% come and work for you, Dan. But again, I would
Yeah.
need to relocate my family, and if you wage match, fine.
No,
Fine. Anyway,
But
how much does a chimney cost?
it's on the house.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
What's it like getting 3 people to agree on a livery design?
Terrible and horrible.
Can you guess who that's from?
Yeah, I already know it's from because I saw it earlier.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
P.S. He's sorry,
Yeah,
Connor.
I know he's sorry. Well, that's the thing. So yeah,
Hey, it's
this-
very. I'll tell you now. It's very easy to get 3 people to agree to.
You just don't ask us.
You just don't ask.
Yeah, well,
you just go. This is what it looks like, guys.
Yeah.
The end.
I mean, I'm quite impartial when it comes to our delivery design. I just go, I get the picture and I go, yeah, that looks sick.
Yeah, that's kind
Can
of.
you make it more mental?
Can you make it more sick?
Yeah, can you make it more sick? And
I
you
should
go,
have just
yeah,
said
okay.
this is what we're having.
Yeah,
really,
essentially,
but
yeah.
It's trouble is though because so Tom already had the delivery that he's got now, and then Connor and I was going to have it, and then Connor didn't want it. He wanted to change his car colour and stuff, and we were talking about what car we couldn't even agree what colour we were going to do and all that kind of stuff, and and then but then now Tom's all like BDC's finished and stuff. Tom's not really that fussed about competing this year. I think he's going to drift and stuff, but you know, and then so we
For
me and
fun.
Connor, so Connor and I we both did red because we wanted to do red, but then Tom didn't want to do red, so we're like, should we just do our own then, Tom, and you can just do whatever? And he was like, yeah, and it was kind of. We're not doing this because we hate you. We just can't be bothered to try and factor you into
But
this
you know what would
decision
look
anymore
cool?
because it's impossible.
You could have put his livery. I say his livery. The Destroy livery on your cars.
It doesn't work with red though. It looks really weird.
No, but you'd
Different
it'd
colour.
be the same design, but just like different colours.
Well, we tried that as well, but then we couldn't all agree on that. It's just and then you kind of speak to livery designer people, and you kind of
I know, and then they hate you. They hate you because you're having this indifferent thing, and then they get nervous because they don't want to finish something that sounds like you're not going to actually get to the end of it and actually be happy
and then
with it.
so you kind of do some stuff, and then you kind of it's the worst when you don't know exactly what you want, but then if I knew exactly what I wanted, I'd just do it.
The
so
way
then you describe it, and then they're like, "How about this?" And you're like, "No."
The way
like,
we do it,
I don't know why, but no.
The way we do it is if you imagine it, you say, right, that looks great. If you imagine that, and we do, or we used to, if you imagine that next year you're going to change it completely anyway. So like, you only have to live with this for a year.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like this year, I really like that livery. Just leave it on.
Yeah.
Leave it on. And then actually after a few years go by and you go,
Like
I really
next
like
year, after we've probably haggard them this year, we'd probably at the end of this year
probably
start looking at redoing it.
To
again
the end
or
of this
something
year, we'll
else.
probably start having a conversation with someone to redo it. And I'd like something in the vein of the 2018 livery that Josh did again, just purely because I quite like the way there was lots of reds used that we don't have the same colour palette anymore.
I do like the bonnet, the full printed bonnet on this one.
I do. But this is the thing. Like, if you look at it and go, well, actually, if you don't look at it like this is what it's going to be like forever, it's not a tattoo. It's something that you can change.
I was pretty much happy to just do whatever, just because I just like, look, if you two can agree, I'll go with that. Because I was the same, like, that we're going to change again. So if it's shit, then I have to deal with it for this long, and then we can do something else. But yeah, it was just really but it's a lot of work as well to like do all the kit, paint the cars, put the livery on, and I think at a time,
fucking know.
Telling us.
Yeah, well,
know.
but at a time when all of me and Connor and Tom are all still very busy doing things, it's like it's really hard to commit to that, especially if you can't all agree on it. So it's just really difficult to get to a point.
You just need to take control and just say, this is what's happening.
Yeah, but then I feel like if I'm going to do that, then I have to pay for it all, because just personally, I feel like I would have to, if I'm just going to insist that something is a way like that, I feel like, well, then it's only fair for me to pay for it. If I know that you don't want to do it as well, then
that's kind of terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, so
yeah. Okay.
There's about 40 messages from random women that I've never seen before asking why you never called them back.
All of them with Tinderella written in their fucking name.
When are the kits going on sale again?
which kits?
The kits. So I can
On
assume
sale. So somebody wants them to be on sale specifically.
We're probably
Body
talking. Let's
kits?
have a look.
Are they currently not on sale? Then?
Yeah, we did a Black Friday sale, and then we've only just finished the queue of.
Right, this doesn't
Stuff
help
from
because this person doesn't have any post yet, so I can't see what car they drive.
Presumably body kits.
Presumably body kits.
Yeah.
They're not.
Probably
not
not
till Black Friday,
Yeah,
which has just been.
yeah. And even then, probably won't do as big of a sale we did then.
Just buy a kit. Just buy a kit.
Yeah.
Just buy one.
Yeah, just help.
Just
mates
buy
out.
one.
Just buy a fucking kit. Just buy a cheapskate.
Ba-da-da-da-da. Kane.
Oh right. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your best Tinder story?
Oh God, I got loads.
Yeah, go on. Give us top 3. No, we haven't got an hour.
There were some that are long ones. One easy one.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Is I think I've still got the screenshots on my phone, but it took me an hour to find them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was on Bumble, so it's not technically a Tinder story. But
Right, on Bumble they have to message you.
You
so
first.
the girl has to message first, and then
Did she pop up with just hey?
Yeah.
100% all the time.
Yeah, she just said hi, and then what did she say?
Hey.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, so her first question was, "Hi, what made you swipe right on me?" So I was like, "I thought you were fit, obviously."
You're fucking tats.
I was like,
Your
my
wee
my dog's got tits.
Your wee breasties.
Your wee breasties, you little cunt.
Instead, I thought you were fit, obviously. Like,
Yeah. Shit response.
yeah, it's a given. And then she didn't say anything back to me, which was like, okay, fine.
Oh God, he thought I was fit.
Every Bumble experience ever.
Oh no, she replied, but she didn't compliment me back.
Yeah.
Which obviously you don't have to, but you think that would be polite. But yeah, whatever. And then she said the very next question was, how long have you been single, and what did you learn from your last relationship?
Oh God, oh good God.
And I just said,
God.
I've been single for this long, however long it was at the time. And I said the other question, let's just leave that for a bit later when we know each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she was like, how am I supposed to get to know you better if you won't answer simple questions? And I was just like, I said, no, it's fine. Like, it's a good question, but it's just a bit personal at the moment. And then she just really didn't like it. And then she said, okay, fine. How about I give you a list of things that I'm looking for in a guy, and you can say if that's you. So I was like, sorry, I'm shivering. I'm fucking cold. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not warm out here.
And I was like, okay, go.
I'm nice and warm in my Low Origin hoodie, available in the store.
And then she pasted a list straight from her notes, like it was
like she had it ready.
What, from hers?
Yeah, from her phone, like just straight away ready to go. And I was like, I want him to be this, I want him to be that.
Oh, Jesus.
I want him to be proud of me.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Like,
why are you on Bumble then?
I can't tell if I'm going to be proud of you because I don't know you. You might be a horrible person. She turned out to be. But and I said, I'm going to be honest, this feels more like a job interview at this point. and then
job interview.
And she said something I was horrible about that. She was like, "Oh yeah, you think you don't?" I don't know. She was just a weird response, and I was just like, I said, "Don't get me wrong, like you want to."
She was a bit entitled.
Yeah, and I just
said,
that
sounds like some entitlement.
I said, "Don't get me wrong, but it just seems like you're more interested in what you can gain, what you can get from me, rather than who I am."
Yeah, exactly.
And I said, may I ask if you've thought this carefully about what you have to offer in return?
Yeah.
How dare you? I don't have to prove myself to you. I was she's like, because I think she used to live in Poland, lived in England. She's like, I did my A-levels before I came to the country.
Okay.
I was a model since I was 16 teen. I drive a Lexus ISF Sport Hybrid.
Oh, good God.
And I don't need to impress you. I can't believe you said what you've said and all this stuff.
Yeah, she sent you a pre-prepared list of requirements that you needed to be, or asked you to then self-evaluate and say yes or no.
Yeah, which is dumb anyway, because I could just lie and say, yeah, that's me.
Yes, everything there.
I lied.
Yeah.
And
doesn't matter when my dick's in you.
And
Jesus Christ.
And all this stuff. And then I can't remember what I said to that. I was just like, well, just chill out a little bit, like. Then she just went off another one, another big essay, and I just finished it off by going, "Who hurt you?"
That explains this message down here.
Written in Polish.
But yeah, the only thing I regret about that is not going for a drink just to
see what
what I would have been dealing with.
What, do you think she would have still gone for a drink at that point?
No, I mean, I wish I'd played along and then gone for a drink and done it in person.
Oh,
Jesus
Christ.
I would have happily had a drink thrown over me just for a better story. But, yeah.
I would have been terrified, though, at the same time.
Yeah, she's probably quite scary. But yeah, just bizarre. Very bizarre. And like the fact I didn't say anything, like I just asked her if she'd thought the same thing, and then she was like, "You're a horrible person. No wonder you're single." And I'm just like, "But you're also single."
Yeah.
And we'd been single for the same amount of time as well.
Yeah, yeah. We're all in the same ship here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's almost like. Yep. No, I'm not even going to go there. That's fine.
Yeah, but that's your girlfriend won't listen to this. Also,
No, it's not. It's not that. It's.
We do have daughters now, so you can't be completely misogynistic.
I can and I will.
Yeah, fuck them.
That's what his face said then.
Yeah, fuck them.
Sounds like a challenge.
Idiots.
No, but I mean, I think it's just a very odd. What about the girl with the glove? She is tender one. Come on.
Actually, yes.
Yes, she was. Yeah, I thought so. That was quite hilarious.
Yeah.
Never actually did it though.
No, I know. The glove. Right.
Glove.
Tom wants you to shout him out.
Tom.
Video Tom.
No.
Okay. No Tom.
No Tom.
No Tom.
No shout out for Tom.
So no, that nice man Tom that films your videos, Dan. You should tell everyone.
What's his
about
last
him.
name? What's his Instagram handle?
I don't know what his last name is. OBH. Is that his last name?
O'Brien Hughes.
O'Brien Hughes.
Oh, okay.
Ob.
I was going to say triple barrel, but it isn't.
Baby Tom is his Instagram.
He is a baby.
Name. Little baby Tom. Anyway, that's all the questions.
There's all you've gone through others there as if there are ones that we can't.
No, there are lots of women saying you never replied to me. There are actually loads of them.
There isn't.
That's all. I know. I don't think we give people enough time.
Jesus, we've done 3.25 hours.
There is one girl that has hearted the thing called "Watch My Pussy Come." She doesn't even follow Low Origin. How has she found it? She's got no posts, no followers, no following. Watch my pussy come.
And her name is get a shout
Robert.
out.
Oh, her name is Robert Jackson. 6165432.
Brilliant.
Oh, God.
Not a bot at all. Here to steal all of our money.
Well,
Heart reacted.
I'm gonna. Does anybody want to add anything in? I'm gonna wind this up now because what time is it? It is now 23:03. I think it's. Jesus.
I need a third piss.
You need a third piss. So let's call this a fucking day. I think my microphone's died as well, and hopefully the levels aren't too horrendous. That's been the Low Origin podcast. Thank you if you've listened this far. I'm so sorry.
We do try to do longer podcasts these days if we have interesting people on.
Yeah.
Don't listen so short.
Yeah. Yeah. Just.
Yeah.
Yeah. When are we next driving?
You are driving in Australia land.
I'm going to Australia. I'm doing the gravy weekend.
Yeah.
On the
Gravy roast.
It's the third. No,
It's
the weekend.
the 2nd and the 3rd of June.
Of June.
So when you just go and drink a load of gravy.
Yes.
Sounds like my kind of thing.
exactly it, yeah.
Me and Dan are
Loads of
potentially.
Bisto, loads of Bisto.
Me and Dan are going to drive at the Coventry Motorfest, I believe, on the same weekend.
Yeah.
Web.
I've managed to organise the Impeccable Fitment Award for the gravy weekend.
Yep.
Which should be arriving in the next 3 weeks, hopefully.
Wow.
I've got some.
Cutting it close.
I know, yeah. I've got some custom embroidered hoodies and stuff coming, which I'm going to try and figure out how the fuck to get those there.
Oof. Just send them to Ty. You got to put that next to your mouth now.
It's my ass.
But yeah, I'm super excited. Never been to Australia before, and yeah.
You will have the best time. It will be sick.
Yeah.
Just don't get eaten. You'll be fine.
Just don't get in. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
You're not staying in the place that me and Harley stayed, so I think you're all good.
Do you want me to come and look after you?
We stayed in a literal
A
rainforest.
spider.
We stayed
He said
inside
this.
a wooden box in a rainforest. It was
I think-
fucking awful. I just killed everything that
Slept in a
moved.
coffin on a riverbank.
Ty looked at the bodies and went, "They're all like money spiders or house spiders, like the gayest shit."
I
He was
can't.
like, "You would have
no,
just
it
left
does-
them," and I was
no.
like, "Nope, it
No,
moved.
because
It got."
Nothing in Australia that moves that isn't a human. Although you could say that they're equally as dangerous, but like nothing. Like if it's a lizard, it'll eat you. If it's a fucking snake, it'll eat you. If it's got
We were sat in the
more than
shack
2 legs, it
eating
will eat
food, eating our burgers and chips and
good
whatever,
fam.
and there's I think it's like a possum or a fucking animal with these
possum.
massive fucking eyes just staring through the window at us. It's on my Instagram of just this thing, these huge eyes staring
neighbour does
through the
that.
window. Oh my god, it was
Christ,
horrific.
It's gonna be Harley outside.
Binged out of his mind.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to go with that.
And then hopefully
it's
next
gonna be
level.
sick. Wait, when's Storyfest?
Doryfest is early July, 1st and 2nd.
Okay, and then after that,
potentially next level.
Potentially
if
next
we,
level, if it happens.
If it gets something, we need something released publicly before
Hey,
we
next level,
commit
let's-
to
let's-
thousands of pounds to spending on ferries and stuff.
yeah, so that would kind of suck.
I'm gonna message Philippe in a bit and
Yeah.
Tell them to let me go as well.
yeah, I'm sure it'd be fine. They're not gonna let you back after trying to murder a photographer.
I was
He
just
wasn't driving. He wasn't
Yeah.
driving.
He was on the
car.
right hand side.
I
of the
just
car.
leaned over and
Just get that
Is it
fucker
you trying
there.
to steal his camera at like 90?
yeah,
Dibs.
Bibs, Jesus fucking Christ. Was he wearing a high vis?
I think so.
That's just so they
Doesn't
can see
help.
where his
You
body
know, like,
landed.
This is the thing. You know, they're like, oh, make sure you put your high vis.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think the span out driver is going to go?
What was-
hang on,
so-
I'm spinning out at high speed. There's
So
a high
when-
vis over there. I better.
Go around him.
In Australia, when I was driving at Port Macquarie, you can sign like a literal square of paper,
Yeah.
get given a high vis, and then you could just walk out on track. And obviously, you're meant to go out with camera stuff, pictures of. There's Ty and Harley.
I'm
Ty and
excited.
Harley with high vises stood in the middle of the track with flip flops on, with their phones.
I thought you were going to say they just stood there just watching.
Just media. Well,
Thousands
it
of
makes sense,
reels.
wouldn't it? Just like media, bro.
Yeah, that's it. I don't like just sat down, chilling, eating sandwiches.
Media.
Oh mate, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Like everything that you think it will be 10 times better.
Lit. Right, on that.
Now, if it's only 8 times better, it'll be disappointing.
I'm going to be fucking pissed off, so...
It will not be. I can put my house, my car.
I was trying to aim for one ever since I seen you do one.
Yeah.
I was like, I can do it.
You're gonna get there. But yeah, visit the store, buy nice things.
Visit the store.
Buy
and,
nice
and
things.
buy things that are drop shipped.
I've got
Please
a new,
stop
I've
by-
got a new shirt out, actually.
Oh, have you got a new shirt?
You've
Oh,
got
you
it on?
have. I've seen it before. Show me.
Show me. Bow, chicka wow wow, chicka wow. Oh, did he take it off?
No idea what Daniel's doing.
Oh, no, put your pants back on.
Oh my god. Look at his penis. That's it all the way.
I thought it'd be bigger.
Is that his kneecap or his penis? Extra long penis. Look at that. Oh boy.
Yeah, the boys.
Just back up into it. It'll be fine. It's probably stopped recording. If you look
Yeah.
at it, is it red?
It's still going. Nice.
Amazing. That's incredible. Cool. Right. So buy these from Curaworks. These are really fucking cool. These are bath mats. I want to say
Bath mats.
They're still not bath mats.
You can use them as a bath mat.
Maybe
You could. I mean,
thing.
Phoenix.
And
Phoenix.
yeah.
Phoenix.
So we don't know. We're not 100%.
Phoenix.
It's Phoenix. We keep on hearing and seeing everyone call it Phoenix. So we're calling it Phoenix as well because we want to be cool.
We have a video coming soon of the install of the radiator and intercooler on Alex's car.
Yep.
We're talking
Triple
detail
pass,
about it.
triple pass.
Multipass.
Multipass.
If you can support us, buy some shit. It will really help us for big, expensive events that we're going to try and do.
Yep.
We've got some cool things coming very soon.
Oh yeah, we got some really
Very cool things.
When will we be allowed to talk about those?
I am
I've got some
talking
cooler things, actually.
to the man. I was talking to him today. He's went to send over some paperwork, and I'm hoping that the first sets will be in June or July.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
But I'm yet to find out.
What is it?
The stuff I've shown you before.
The stuff I showed you before. The things that you sit on.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So they're going to be really fucking cool, and we're really excited for them.
Yeah.
You got limited edition faces.
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 Things that you sit on.
Right. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this far. Fuck off.